Coming up, Ty from Comeuppance is on, so we do the Phillippe Phactory. We're looking at two movies with poor man's Ryan Phillippes in them. We've got Blowback first with Gigandet, and then we've got Kellan Lutz with Do Justice. So two of our poor man's Ryan Phillippes in these movies here. Little bit of rough movies, but I think the conversations are good for them. Also, our spotlight on a fight is going to be the end fight at Under Siege 2, or in Under Siege 2, so check that out. Next week, Todd Liebenow from Forgotten Filmcast is on. We'll be looking at Deadly Prey. So I know Bulletproof did that one recently. It just sort of worked out that way that Todd and I had it planned, and then Bulletproof did the episode. So yeah, definitely, I guess more Deadly Prey the better, though, right? You can never have too much Deadly Prey. So look for that one next week. It was a fun conversation there. In terms of DTVC Extra, we're skipping this week. Next week, we'll finish up the Superman series with Superman 4 and Superman Returns. So look out for that. Not this Thursday, but the Thursday after. And in terms of the site, if you go to the upcoming reviews watched list on Letterboxd, you may notice some changes there. I've added a couple movies. So this week we're looking to do Raw Justice, aka Good Cop, Bad Cop, which is interesting. This Good Cop, Bad Cop when neither of the main characters are cops. But the AIP film. Directed by David Pryor, that's got Pam Anderson right before she takes off. Also David Key and Robert Shea. It's Hayes, right? From Airplane. I always know him as the guy from Airplane, right? I don't really have another name for him. Also, Napes is in that one. All kinds of characters, but yeah, we're getting that one in. So going to try to get more reviews in for movies that we haven't covered on the podcast. So kind of trying to mix it up a little bit. So looking to do that one this week, and then next week we'll do Cinderella's Revenge. So one we did cover on the podcast, because that one's on Tubi now. So we can give that one a little bit more love, get people out there to see that one. And then 2 weeks after that, another one that I watched recently on, I guess it was a Roku channel, was Shotgun, early PM flick. I think it might be the third PM flick if you go on IMDb. It's definitely up there in that number. So another fun one. So trying to get more of those kinds of movies. And then also Wanted Man by Dolph. Look for that one in a few weeks. That was one we did cover in a podcast episode here with Mitch Lovell from Video Vacuum. So that was a fun one as well. But got to get more Dolph up, right? But we just did Dolph last week with Electric Boogaloo, the wild untold story of Canon Films. So that was Dolph's 72nd film on the site, I believe, 72nd or 73rd. I think it's 72nd. So he's getting up there. I don't know if we'll get to 80 movies with him, but he keeps making them. So I guess that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. But I think that's kind of everything. We might as well jump in here quick. One other quick thing I wanted to mention. This Friday is Bandcamp Friday. So if you have an indie band that you're into, the one for me, of course, is Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures from John Cross, who did the theme song for this show here. He's putting something new out, so of course I follow him on Bandcamp. Check him out. But any indie artists that you listen to, they probably have a Bandcamp. You can buy their albums there. They get more of the money on Friday because Bandcamp waives their own fees for the artists, so they get more money. So any that you've been thinking about picking up, now is the time to do it. Support those indie bands. They get more money this way than they do if you just play it on Spotify. So do that. Then you've got the copy. You've always got it on your phone or whatever, and you can listen to it. A few others that are maybe not as indie as our friend John, but Paul Hardcastle, who did some nice remixes and had some really great music in the 80s and 90s. He's put stuff out on Bandcamp, so you can check out some of his cool ones. Who else? There's just, some smooth jazz artists I listen to, vaporwave guy, all kinds of artists that I like on Bandcamp. So just obviously, I'm mentioning about John Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures because, again, he does our theme song here. We just had him on last week on the podcast with a really fun episode we did about Desert Heat, a.k.a. Inferno. But yeah, this is the time to support those indie bands that you like. Get out there, buy whatever has been burning a hole in your pocket, whatever you haven't been meaning to buy of theirs and you haven't bought it recently. Drop the $5 or $10. This Friday is the time to do it. So, that's my last plug before we get into the episode. So, why don't we have John play our theme song? Again, John, Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures on Bandcamp. Pick up his new release this Friday. And then, after the theme song, when we come back, Ty from Comeuppance will be back on. And, one other thing I want to quick mention, I haven't been doing ads in the breaks. So, we still take the breaks depending on the show. I think next week with Todd, we don't take a break. We just went straight through. But I've been taking the breaks. I've been taking out commercials. Who who knows? I may start putting them back in. So, if you got a podcast out there and you want me to, you've got a trailer for your podcast, I'll be happy to throw your trailer in if you want to do that or something like that. But for right now, I've kind of just taken a break on doing the book ads. So keep that in mind too, that we do have a break in this episode, but there's not going to be any commercials in that. So, all right, now let's get into the episode. I thought I was going to have a quick one here. Suddenly we're over 5 minutes. So, why don't we have John play our theme song? When we come back, Ty from Comeuppance is on. We'll be looking at Blowback. Right, welcome back to the DTV Connoisseur Podcast. I'm joined once again by Ty from Comeuppance. Welcome back, Ty.
Hey, I'm back. Thanks for having me back on. Should be another fun time. Great movies in sarcasm mode.
Yes. Yes. Our theme for today's episode is what we call the Phillippe Phactory, because the movies feature. So I discovered his name is pronounced. It's Cam Gigandet. That's how, but we can call him Gigandet. Yeah, we can call him Gigandet or whatever we want to call him. Yeah. He's featured in our first movie, Blowback, and then Kellan Lutz is featured in our second movie, Do Justice. But they're essentially the guys that, like, if you were going to make Ryan Phillippes in a factory, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd end up with Gigandet or Gigandet or whatever and Lutz, I think.
Lutz, yeah, and it's like, it seems like this Phillippe factory is already defunct. I was watching, my goodness, that's factory.
Exactly. So those will be our movies. And then our spotlight on a fight is the end fight scene in Under Siege 2. So that's going to be definitely a fun one as well.
That's funny. So funny.
I think it'll be a good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah. No, they should. It's definitely a fun one. I think if for people who haven't seen it, it's on YouTube, so it is available to check out.
Oh yeah, that's how we find these fights. Like, what's like a fight on YouTube? Under Siege 2. Then we can get to it later, but wow, I have brain cells watching it, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly. But it'll be a good palate cleanser once we're finished with these two movies for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess now we almost have a segment nowadays.
Right. So our first segment we're going to do here, kind of a new segment. Usually we start with the what have you been watching lately, but we have a kind of a new segment here called what do we call those crazy kids?
Yeah, these damn kids today.
Oh, these damn kids today. That's a better way to say it. Yeah, these damn kids today.
Well, first off, I just a bunch of them I wanted to mention. As you know, we talk about mid. People know what we're talking about. These dang kids saying like mid or Riz or what's the other one?
Brad is one, I think.
Or what's the one that slaps or something?
Oh, it slaps or it's a banger. Yeah.
Yeah, or a bop or flop. Right. I did hear this new Sabrina Carpenter song. And I'm not sure if it's a bop or flop yet, but we'll see. But the espresso song is catchy. I'll give her that. But why does she sound like the same as live she does in video form? Sounds like it could be auto-tune.
Right, exactly.
How do you sound like that without? All right, forget it. But I mean, like, also, what's a skibbity toilet thing? Let's go right into that. Have you heard of this?
So I heard it, but I didn't. Somebody said so. I was at a Mets game a few months ago, and a few weeks ago. Yeah, and they did this thing where a kid uses modern phrases, and the dad says what they are, and then the announcer guy explains whether they're right or not. But of course, we're so used to seeing everything with closed captions, right? So so the way that it worked. This is classic Mets. I feel like I'm dumping on the Mets here, and I probably shouldn't be. But it's the kid says what the term is, right? And they show the term on the screen. The dad mumbles something. And the guy goes, "Yes, that's absolutely correct. How did you know that? Oh, Dad's really cool that he knows this stuff." And I was like, "Did he say anything that I heard? Like, did you put the microphone near him so we could hear him?" So that term term came up, and the answer was given, and the dad got it correct, but I didn't hear any of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, because I barely know what that is. And then I hear they're making a movie about Skibbity Toilet. They're produced by Michael Bay. Like, what the hell is going on in this country? It's like, this is a downward spiral. I mean, it's like, and then I hope, did we talk about this in the last? Wait, what did we do last time? We did I forgot what movies we did last time, but
Yeah.
it was Gross Point Blank was the fight, right? But yeah, so what is this Brat Summer? I mean, like, so I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. So I did look up Skibbity Toilet, and it's apparently this talking, spinning head that pops out of a toilet, and he does like mouths a dance remix to a Bulgarian song. So
so it's
that's
kind of like Annoying Orange or I'm a Gummy Bear.
right. Now, Brat Summer, let's see what we have for Brat
Yeah.
Summer. So the Today Show has a big explanation, but I don't need a big explanation.
Oh, okay.
So Shouts and Murmurs by, I guess, I don't know. It's like, yeah, so I saw Kamala Harris, and can I just find out like what it is? Like that's really all I want to know.
I was trying to figure it out. I was like, well, usually the word brat means you're annoying.
Right.
I mean, it's like, so it doesn't seem very positive to me.
Yeah.
Not having a very brat summer. This is me.
Exactly.
Donald Brat.
Exactly. I think because the Today Show is the top one, and it seems like it's more popular ones that are there, that you don't get like a very simple. So I guess it has to do with an album from this person, Charlie XCX.
Oh, that's another thing. That's on my list today too.
Okay. So So I mean, it's a fascinating thing that like you so like it's very fascinating how the internet works, right? That like if I type in the Skibbity Toilet one, somebody has answered it clearly because the Today Show didn't take over the algorithm. So for the Today Show, right, they don't want the answer to be in the preview, right? They want the answer to be deep in the article so that I go to the Today Show and scroll through like pages of crap to get to this stupid thing. And then the New Yorker also, the guard. It's like all the big ones have covered it, so they it doesn't behoove them to have a very short, quick answer. Whereas Skibbity Toilet had a short, like I could do like sometimes you can do the drop down within the search results.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
right.
You know Al Roker or Alan Roker, if you want to be more curious. Here's what he says about Brad Summer.
Okay. Yeah, right, exactly. What the ratings does Al Roker say exactly? So apparently it has to do with green. Brat Green represent the harsh and imperfect feelings which come with being human. I don't know how that doesn't sound right, but yeah, it's I'm sure we have listeners, fellow podcasters who have kids that are younger that probably could explain it better. But it is fascinating how the internet works. That if you need a quick answer on the fly, right, you just have to be fortunate enough that whatever it is not it's not covered by so it's a slang term and play on the idea of a hot girl summer. That's really what
I've heard of that.
That's so I put in Reddit, Brat Summer meaning Reddit, and that's what got me the answer because Reddit doesn't care if I scroll through the whole thing, right? They've got plenty of people on there, so that's what it is. Okay, so
goofballs on there.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, Today Show, for borking up the whole algorithm.
Thank you. Who's still on the Today Show? Al Roker, Matt Lauer. Not Matt Lauer.
Yeah, no Lauer. I think it's. I don't know if Hoda Kotb is still on.
Let's go back to the times of. I don't know who was still on there. Katie Couric.
Right, Katie Couric. Yeah, Jane Pauley. That would have been.
Jane Pauley. That's right.
Yeah.
I think of Pauly Shore. I think of her name.
right.
Jane Pauly Shore. Hey, that was like on Jeopardy, right? Before and after.
Right. That's right.
Who is
Jane Pauley Shore? That's right.
Today Show anchor and son-in-law star. Who is Jane Pauley Shore?
Can you see that like the kind of like the the kind of the smart Jeopardy person, maybe with like the glasses, right? Like maybe it's like one with like glasses on here. What is Jane Pauley Shore? Yes, that's correct.
Correct. You have the board.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since Trebek passed. So I haven't seen a non-Trebek episode.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, Jennings. Is it
Jennings?
Jennings?
Ken Jennings.
Ken Jennings.
I don't know Peter Jennings. No, I know Ken Jennings, but
yeah, Peter Jennings would have been a great host. If he hadn't,
or just get all the old people, Hugh Downs. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm really showing my age. Think of the old people.
Yeah.
Hugh Downs, Walter Cronkite, Peter Jennings,
Yeah. Morley Safer,
Morley Safer, of course, Andy Rooney.
Andy Rudy would be, yeah. Do you ever notice that this show always has questions for answers? Why not just say the answer?
Yeah, I don't understand. And why is this pineapple so spiky? It's just like, it's like why am I getting stabbed by a pineapple?
Yes. My favorite one was when he complained about why low sodium soup was more expensive than regular soup. So he had like this Morton's salt container. He's like, would this cost 10 cents more if it was empty? I was like,
actually, that's a good point there. Low sodium should be less money. I mean,
right.
There's less stuff to put in it.
Right. But I guess like naturally chicken soup is meant to kill you. It's meant to be high in sodium, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I think I've seen the sodium levels of those like top ramen.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, because the other thing with those top ramens is that what they actually tell you 2 servings. They make it sound like you can get. I don't know if they still do this, but it used to be that it was 2 servings in one of those packets, which I don't know who is sharing a ramen with somebody else. I don't know, how there's enough food in there, so it's like even double the sodium than what it says on there.
Oh my goodness. I mean, classic. You're a poor writers living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm just kind of picturing like a Barton Fink type.
Right.
Kind of a sad guy. Girlfriend left him, and he's just sad. He's top ramen. He's wearing a wife beater shirt and a boxer shorts. Like, all right, time for my food. And all he has is top ramen, so he just starts crying. It's so depressing. But that's these classic these dang teams today. Charlie XXL. That's what I call her. Why do you have? This Apple song, which I heard the other day on these Instagram reels because I scroll like a little, like a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the Apple's right to the core. But it's like, now, then I listen to more of the lyrics. It's like, oh my, I lost brain cells just like the Under Siege 2 fight. If they played that song during the Under Siege 2 fight, our brains would leak out of our heads.
Right.
It's like, so the apple's going on top, and it's like the apple's over here, and then it's over there. It's like, oh, I know it was that simplistic of a song.
Right. Yeah. There was this one that I heard the Mets game called "Hot to Go," and did you know that one?
I don't know if I heard that.
No, it's like this girl is like young woman is like singing and she like spells out the lyrics like HOTTOGO, you can take me hot to go. And like they played it and like kids were like doing some dance to it, like they all knew it. The song like was just buried in my head. It was just like HOTTOGO, you can take me hot. And I was like, this is horrible. And it's like buried deep in my head. It's like, and of course, like I heard that perfectly clear, right? But not the explanation for what Skibbity Toilet was, that was,
That's just life in a nutshell, isn't it?
Right, exactly. The bouncing ball for that one, on the screen, and then they're like showing kids dancing to it or whatever. And I was like, so that was like buried deep in my head. It was like the game went like way long. So I had to like leave early to catch my train back to Philly. And I was sitting next to like these 3 like real like New Yorker types. And like they were like the conversations, like, because I'm just kind of there by myself, just kind of taking in the game up. Wanted to see the Oakland A's play kind of like the last time I'll see them before they move to Vegas. And they're like, yo, we should go to some games in other cities. What you do is you go there for like a couple days. You spend some time in the city and you see a game at the city, And then the other one's like, well, we could go to Philly. Philly's really close. We don't even have to stay there. We could just drive for the night and come back. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. You want to do that? I went to Boston one time, Oh, yeah, no. I was in Boston and it was cold. And I had these guys with me. I had to get them sweatshirts. It was so cold out.
I mean, like, that's just perfect. I mean, what a great conversation. And you probably like, oh my.
It's almost like one of those things where it's like,
oh my goodness.
Right. It's like, like one of those things where I'm just like, hey, I hope you guys have a great time. Like, I didn't say, I'm not talking to them, obviously. I'm not, like the funny thing is they came and sat right next to me because their seats were right next to mine and the whole row was open. So after the national anthem, I was like, I'm going to sit one seat over and give us all some room here because I almost think they looked at me like, what are you doing? And it's like, well, the whole row is open. Like, well, let's take a little, you can stretch out a little bit with an extra seat there, but they were,
It's already mansplaining and manspreading to you.
I was manspreading for sure. I was, but I was only doing it because we had the luxury of manspreading. Like if suddenly I was like hemmed in, I would make sure my space is like within my lane. I'd stay in my lane. I wouldn't manspread. But I definitely, when you have the ability to do it, yeah. Like I didn't put my feet up on anything, so that was one thing. But yeah.
Oh yeah, never put your feet up when you're a passenger in a vehicle. Your legs will just completely go broken. There was some video I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, personal space. I guess there was an article on Deadline.com saying that Drew Barrymore will try to practice personal space when talking to guests this season. It's like,
yeah,
because she gets right to their freaking face. I've never seen interviews. It's like, whoa.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I love home fries as much as the next person, but I don't want to see that close. It's like,
yeah.
I guess I was trying to figure it out. Like, whoa, but then it makes it a bit different than like, here's your seat,
Right. Well, but it is. I think personal space. It is one of those things that like. So there's sort of like two things with it. Like one, I think we all could do better, right? I don't know if we all could, but I think there's a lot of people that could do better about respecting personal space. That, like you just don't need to be that close. But there's also this mindset, I think, of like, well, it's almost like it's almost like a game of Risk or something, and you're like claiming territory. It's like like sitting on the subway or something like that, and it's like, oh, I've got to stretch out, and it's like, no, you don't have to stretch out. Like you can just take a seat. The other person, usually in the Philly subway, it's not crowded enough that everybody sits together. Whereas like in New York, I noticed on the New York subway they have it a little bit better dialed in, where it's just like there's no stretch out, there's no spread out. You gotta but. Yeah, it is a fascinating thing. Like there's almost like this idea of like Risk. That's the best thing I can think of, right? Where you're just claiming territory. It's like the Seinfeld, right? Like Ukraine is weak. Like what? But Ukraine is not weak. Ukraine is strong. And it's like stay in your lane. Don't spread out your legs.
And now Ukraine is weak because the Putin is going to destroy it one day, or it's taking a little long for that dude to destroy Ukraine. But it's like hello, destroy Ukraine. But it's like.
Right. It's a weird thing because like I don't know. I mean, obviously, like everybody's a yes man probably under Putin. Like you don't want to argue with him because he's going to be like
he's like Kim Jong-un.
Right, exactly. You could end up on a plane that crashes or find yourself flying out of a window or something.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that like we've got all these decades of history that tell us that like when you invade another place, like the other place is going to fight a lot harder to keep that place than the soldiers you bring in to take it. It's like, Vietnam, you've got, they have their own history with Afghanistan. We've got Afghanistan, we've got Iraq. Like all this history is there that says, yeah, it's probably not going to work as well as you think it's going to. But, he did it anyway, and it didn't work the way he thought it was going to.
Remember what was this? Now we're on 2 years of this
right.
war. And I remember this when it first started, like, here comes the Ukraine war. We'll be right back on CNN. So then they played some commercial
Applebee's.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Chicken right, Applebee's.
Little bit of chicken fried. It's like, no, this is supposed to be a war. Serious war. No time for TGI Friday beer and chicken nights.
Exactly. It was like the split screen and it was like the ad, right? It's like with the slowly flowing in fried chicken and like the sauces splashing against it and everything.
They have that song. So it's like, okay, I guess this war is a little bit of chicken fried.
Right, exactly. This war is brought to you by Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, it was all of them. It was like TGI Fridays, like Applebee's. Do you have Applebee's in Philly?
Yes. Well, they closed. There was one in the city. They closed it. It was a bit of an interesting place. I never actually went there. My wife and I went there one time because we were gonna maybe get a drink or something at the bar, and it was just such a mess. We were just like, no, we'll go somewhere else. But Chili's seems to be the one that does well here. Not sure why.
We have a Chili's. Well, we used to have Chili's right in Hampton, and they changed it to some other place. But we have no Chili's in the town called Wallingford. So just like Connecticut. Hold on. We got Sons of Anarchy in the background. I'm not sure you can hear that.
Oh yes, yeah. We get them here. We get them, if there's they're Sons of Anarchy, but they're on dirt bikes. So
yeah. Well, what's the other one? What's the other show? MC Mayans MC. That's
right. Yeah, was that the spinoff?
Yeah, the spinoff. I never really watched Sons of Anarchy. I heard also kind of wussed out after season 2. It's like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, because there's a villain played by Adam Arkin, and they don't really he doesn't get his comeuppance. So it's like, after all this time, you do nothing. You're like the evil Sons of Anarchy or something. Right. It's like, hello. So, but it's like, so another thing I want to mention, a few more things from these Dan kids, which is, well, actually, because Glenn Powell, this person on my list on for this, a few months or a month or two ago, Twisters comes out, and then you do your scrolling, and it's like 6,000 videos of Glenn Powell.
Yes.
It's like, and then the same songs in the background played by, it's like "Ain't No Love in Oklahoma." Have you heard that song?
No.
Did they play that? Did you see Twisters? Actually, I hear it's pretty good.
No, I think the next movie I'm going to see after Deadpool and Wolverine is probably going to be the new Venom movie. That'll probably be the next one I get to.
Yeah, it's like, all right, what's the next video? Ain't no love. Next video, ain't no love. It's like, okay, it's Glenn Powell, and there's like people like spinning around, like I want Glenn Powell to chase me. It's like, okay, and then, but I will say the "Ain't No Love in Oklahoma" song is very catchy. I cannot play it because, well, but who's it by? It's like some fat guy. Right, hold on.
It could be. Now, one thing about Glenn Powell too that's interesting for listeners of the podcast here is that he was one of the actually connection with Kellan Lutz, right? Is that they were both the new Expendables, weren't they?
Yeah, that's true. And they don't really do much because it's mostly just Stallone, which also it goes right into my segue. Oh, I lost my notes. Hold on. But it's Luke Combs who sings the song.
Luke Combs, right?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The long black train. It's catchy. Right. I'll give him that. It's very catchy.
He does that useless cover of Fast Car, right? By Tracy Chapman. Was him? I think that's a Luke Combs too. I mean, if it's not, it's another Luke Combs, right? It's another Combs or something like that. I mean,
what was that? Tracy Chapman coming on top.
Right, Tracy Chapman did the original. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to Fast Car.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like, why are you doing that? Why do you need to do that? But
I have to say, get your own song. But it's like, it's like hard to make your own song, right? Yeah, Tracy Chapman has that one. You can have your own song.
Yeah.
So speaking of Expendables 3, who has Stallone, I mean, I was telling you off air that I noticed that Stallone says "right" a lot in all of his movies when someone asks him a question.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever. It's like, oh yes, and the Expendables. Yeah, that guy likes playing in the jungle. Right. It's like. I rewatched the trailer before we did this recording. Yeah, he did say that. Okay.
Yeah, because I guess he writes his own dialogue, and so he probably just.
Okay. Well, yeah, he does do that, but maybe
I think so. Yeah, so he's just like, I'm gonna have my character say this. Yeah, so he just says right.
And I did get to watch the perfect. Oh, we want to talk about what we've been watching lately. I'm out of my stuff.
We'll transition into what we've been watching. Like, just to give everybody a heads up, these movies aren't great. So we'll get into them. We'll get into them soon enough.
We'll get into these movies, but it might be a little bit of a wait because these movies aren't great.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll transition into what we've been watching lately.
Okay, so I did watch finally the Perfect Weapon, the Blu-ray.
Yes,
Jeffrey Speakman, and it's definitely a fun movie with that Toru Tanaka guy. He didn't say me; he just goes rah. And of course, the big thing, of course, is the Mariska Hargitay. She's there in the movie. She gets fourth billed in the movie, but she only gets like 2 quick glances. So, I heard all of her footage was cut out. So, hey, look what's back. The footage on the Blu-ray. Finally, after like 30 years. It was cool. It's like, she had dialogue and she was talking and she like hid under a rock because some people were shooting at her. It's like, why aren't you in the movie? You were doing stuff.
Yeah.
You just have that kid named Jimmy, played by Dante Basco.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. From what, Blood and Bone, right?
Blood and
Dante
Bone,
Basco.
Pinball.
Yes. Knuckle up.
Yeah, knuckle up. There's another good segue. I'll get to that. I actually saw him in person.
Oh, Dante Basco?
Yeah, he was at the Terrificon convention I went to last week.
Oh, nice.
He was
nice.
there. I saw him. I didn't really talk to him, but I saw him. I was like, hey, look, it's pinball.
That's awesome. Nice.
He looked the same, basically, just a little older. But
Yeah.
like, it's funny about Perfect Weapon because Mariska, what you see of her, and Dante Basco, they really make them look Japanese. It's just like, wait a second, no, you're not Japanese.
Right.
It's like you got Mako. It was a good movie. I actually enjoyed it. I blinked. It was 80 minutes. It was over.
Yeah.
Did I watch anything else? Oh, I'm in the middle of watching Damage. That just came to Tubi with Vincent Cassel and Samuel L. Jackson. It's okay. I mean, like if you compare it to Cult Killer with Antonio Banderas and Alice Eve, I watched last month.
Now,
go ahead, please.
Now on that Perfect Weapon, I want to come back to quickly. So that
please.
Was that so it's a Blu-ray that came out recently?
The Blu-ray came out it's put out by Kino Lorber.
Kino Lorber, okay, yeah.
And it's definitely worth a purchase, because it's awesome because it has the footage, it has the trailer. It's kind of weird on the Blu-ray, but
yeah,
there was a commentary, but a bunch of other trailers from Kino, like Sudden Death. They put out Sudden Death, the Van Damme movie, and it's a great trailer. It's like it's just perfect. It has the great announcer guy. It's like Van Damme, Sudden Death. It's like, and they have Powers Booth, like Van Damme, Powers Booth.
Oh yeah,
Sudden Death. It's perfect.
Yes, I love
you get that fantastic effect with the helicopter going through the stadium. They spoiled a lot actually in about 2 minutes.
Yes. That is sweet. Yeah, I always love that. So Perfect Weapon. I probably haven't seen that one in like maybe 30 years. I've got to see it again. It came out in 91, and I probably saw it not long after that in the video store, and haven't seen it since.
It's worth rewatching, worth purchasing. I got it for an okay price on eBay.
Yeah.
And when I watch anything else, I that messaged you the other day, The Runners. And it's like, what's the oldest thing I have on my Tubi queue? The Runners. Okay, what's that? Tom Sizemore about trafficking once again.
Oh yes, of course.
It was okay. Actually, did have that cliche. We're a lot like You and Me.
Yeah.
Which Tom Sizemore does not say. You barely get Sizemore. You get him for like, I'm gonna be nice, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, I watch anything else? I thought I watched something. I was watching Bones, the show with David Boreanaz.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ship. It's breaking news. It's not a good show. Here's the problem: you don't care about any of the stories.
Yeah.
I never watched it at all.
A little bit, because the stuff I remember that was quite a trip about it was like it didn't go much past the supporting cast, but like they would try to develop the supporting cast like you would on like Law and Order or something like that, and I remember like not being all that interested in them, and like you said, it was like it's kind of just another procedural. It never quite had the hook that like Law and Order had.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
because you don't care. Oh, my notes. Okay, you don't care about the characters, and then if you don't care about the characters, you don't care about the story because the story is weak.
Yeah,
it was. I was getting Remington Steele flashbacks watching that, where there's just a bunch of nothing and banter, and you're like, oh yeah. The Butler did that one. It's like, oh thanks. It's just like wasted 48 minutes because those shows are longer back in the 80s.
Yes, yeah.
Right. I told you I rewatched War Inc.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And I got to show you this picture. After maybe I can do it, maybe on air, maybe. And what else I watch? Freelancers with 50 Cent.
Yes, yeah.
Bob De Niro and White Girl, my favorite character. You're right, White Girl is great.
White Girl's the best, isn't she? In Freelancers, yeah, she makes the movie.
Rating Greer, yeah.
For people who haven't seen that one in a while, Freelancers. I mean, it's your standard, Randall Emmett, De Niro, Forrest Whitaker, all kinds of people. But there's a woman who her character name is simply White Girl, and she's hilarious. Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's still in the whole movie. It's like she has a neck tattoo. She's speaking Ebonics. It's like, my man's going to jail. My man's like, like, and even Forrest Whitaker said, "Okay, stop."
Exactly.
That was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually watched the interview of Randall Emmett on the Freelancers DVD. because I'm trying to be his best friend here.
Right.
You know, like it'd be like Turtle, you know, because he was Turtle on he's the basis for Turtle on Entourage.
That's what he said, right? Yeah, that he was. Yeah,
Benz. And you know, it's like somehow we sent it to Bob De Niro. It's like you sent this script for just to Bob De Niro, and he said yes.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we sent it to Forrest Whitaker. I have a good relationship with him. You sent this stupid Brooklyn's Finest ripoff movie to Forrest Whitaker, and he said yes. I mean, maybe he just needed some quick money.
They sent it with the money that they were going to pay them written on it. Whatever it is, thousands, whatever. What did they get paid? Like, they get paid in the millions for those, or is it just like the tens of thousands?
He probably got paid like at least 300 to 500,000 just to be in the
Yeah. So I think they just write that number on the top of the script, and the agent sends it over to him. He looks at that and he goes, kind of, probably nods a little bit and says, "Okay, yeah,
yeah, mutt. I'm gonna do your mutt, Randall, your mutt." Forrest Whitaker, I can't really do an impression of, but it's like, but well, he was just like lazy. Forrest Whitaker, and 50 Cent was lazy. The whole movie is lazy, and then. Also, I did watch or rewatch the classic, well, hopefully soon to be classic, Blood Out. People need to rewatch this movie, right? I read your review.
Yeah.
Luke Goss, not Luke Combs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the Gossinator.
Oh my god, you got the Gossy Goss, and you got your Gossy, and then you got your Val Kilmer at his best. Like limited Kilmer though.
Yeah.
But what you get was like, okay, hey Val, can you just act really insane for like 5 minutes? It's like Son of Mars and Thunder. Here comes the punch fighting. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah. Now, is that the one where Luke Goss spends the early part of the movie handcuffed to a toilet because like 50 Cent beats the crap out of him or something?
He does. Yeah, he gets handcuffed to a skibbity toilet, and then 50 beats him up.
Yes.
And it's like, you're good at my town. If it's barely in that too.
Yeah,
Vinnie Jones also barely in it, and the best part really is the ending. Should I give it away? I mean, like,
I don't remember. So this movie came out like in 2011. So I feel like if you've seen it by this point, you've seen it. I don't know. I guess.
Sure, because it's like what happens is Luke Goss is chasing after Vinnie Jones at the end, and the green screen is not great. And the special effects for the car scenes are not great. So it looks like that Luke Goss throws a car that's like 5,000 pounds with Vinnie Jones in it. He's like, you threw a car?
Right.
You threw Vinnie? I mean, I rewound it. Like, no, he didn't throw the car, did he? He's like, oh, it looks like he did throw the car.
He threw the car. He threw
a car.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that part. I that's a good point. I mean, it's
comments. I have to take a look, but it's like,
yeah. I mean, one thing I will say about these movies that we're going to be talking about today, and sort of like the recent spate of ones that we've been watching, is that I think these movies from like Blood Out, something from like 2011, they had a bit of a floor to them that meant like they could be really bad, but not. Like I think we almost go into these new ones expecting to be as good as these 2011 ones, which aren't that great to begin with. And it's like, we don't have that floor anymore. It's almost like the floor is gone. It's like somebody went in with a jackhammer, just removed the floor, or what is it? Olivier Gruder in Nemesis, right? Just shoot the floor out and just go flying through it.
I mean, that's a great point. Like we're now like reminiscing about 2010. Goofy movies like this,
and they weren't even that good, and it's just, but it's like compared to like what we did last week and what we're going to be doing this week, it's like you dream for a Blood Out to come back, I guess.
That's a great point. So I went on Gossie's. Wait, I just thought of maybe a title for next if we do another Gossip Girl.
Oh yeah,
something like that. I just thought
that's perfect.
That's ridiculous. Speaking of Gossip Girl and Blake Lively, we actually want to talk about Blake Lively, but I guess there's some sort of controversy, right? Because she's in that movie where it's about domestic violence.
Oh yes, yeah.
She makes the marketing makes it look like some like kind of frothy rom-com.
Right. Yes.
And, I guess. Well, that's the power of marketing for you. It's like, hey, come see it ends with us right away. Just bring your girlfriend. Bring your popcorn. Like, she gets brutally beaten. It's like that's and there's like no laughs. It's like
Right. Yeah, yeah. If you read the synopsis on IMDb about the movie, it's pretty open about the fact that like she's in an abusive relationship. But you're right. Like the cover, all of it, it looks
yeah,
like what was that Julia Roberts movie? Like Eat, Pray, Love.
yeah,
Like
that or Notting Hill or what's that? I can't. I'm going to mention this one, but Love Happens. I've never seen.
right, right. It looks like it's one of those kind of
It,
movies when it's really not.
no, that's a. I mean, that's almost impressive on the marketing. Well, I hear
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds help with some of the movie.
Hmm.
That's and then there's all sorts of silly controversy. It's like I guess the guy who's the main character in this movie, like he asked uh, how much Blake Lively weighs because he had to pick her up and he had
Oh,
a back problem in the past. It's like, oh, you have a back problem. I mean, she's probably like 100 pounds. It's still a lot to pick up. I
right,
mean, and then she's like, hey, you're fat shaming me. It's like, no, I think he has a back problem.
right. Well, yeah, it's kind of a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I was like, hey, you can't do that. Oh, you had a back problem. All right, I guess I'll give you a pass. But it's just
yeah.
like, it was just so weird to watch the ads. Like, come on to the ends with us. I don't get beaten up in it at all. No.
Right, right, exactly. And I think that movie did better than the new Crow movie this past
Yeah,
weekend.
I heard the Crow tanked, and I looked at the spoilers.
Yeah,
Well, how can you beat the Crow Wicked Prayer anyway?
right,
But
right,
hey, David Boreanaz as Luke Crash, and Tara Reid as Lola Byrne.
right.
Oh, Crash and Burn, girl.
Yeah.
Then you got Dennis Hopper as El Nino. I know it's by heart for some reason. He's a homie. Yeah, speaks Ebonics,
Is
just like
that's not the one with Edward Furlong, is it?
sure is. Eddie
Oh,
Furlong
yes.
as the Crow.
Yeah, that's one that I reviewed. It was one of my first reviews on my site was
Oh
Crow.
yeah, I'll have to read that again. Same here. It's like
Yeah,
this movie's good. Well, it's hilarious,
yeah.
but you got Tito Ortiz hanging around in it. That was hilarious.
Hmm.
Hopper's like, will you be my homie now or forevermore? People need to rewatch Wicked Prayer. Now I can't believe I'm going to say it. It's almost 20 years old. I remember
Yes.
when it was new. It was like, ooh, Wicked Prayer. I can't wait to watch it. I was running around the video store. It's
Yeah,
like, the movie's garbagey, but how can you
yeah.
not enjoy it? He's like Edward Furlong is like overweight. It's okay. It's like Fat Crow. But I hear this new Crow. It's not good. I looked at the spoilers. I hear one part's really cool, and people say it's mostly dull. People don't outright hate the movie. They say that the first 30 minutes are really slow and boring, and there's like
Yeah.
some cool action scene. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the other thing about it that people aren't happy about. So the one thing that at least people can forgive about like Crow Wicked Prayer or, Salvation or City of Angels is that they're kind of like they're not rebooting the original movie, the original Crow that that had Brandon Lee in it. And I
Right.
think that's the one thing that has upset people about this one is that it's rebooting the original, and they're like, oh, how can you reboot the original when that first one was so fantastic? And yeah, so I
I
think
agree.
that's the
Yeah.
issue. That's where the problem comes in is that they and I don't know, they could have like just done like just another Crow story. They didn't have to reboot the
Sure.
original. But I mean,
Just the Crow Returns, or how about Revenge of the Blackbird? Just don't
right,
call it the
right.
Crow.
Yeah, yeah. It could be, just like, scars, yeah, yeah, call it anything, right? Just don't reboot the first one and just make because it was adapted from a comic book. So you can, like obviously, like, there's multiple Punishers, there's multiple Spider-Man, all those kind of things. So if you're going to adapt it from a comic book, you can do multiple adaptations. But I think people felt like they were trying to do. I guess the other thing too is that there isn't the goth culture that existed for the first one in
That,
1994. That,
that's a good point.
yeah,
Kind of gone on the way of the Crow.
right, right,
So
exactly.
it's like, I guess, and then we just kind of, we all love goth people, but you do kind of laugh at them. It's like, oh no, here comes the face paint. It's like, and then I guess he looks weird. Did you see what he looks like? He
I
has
did. Yeah, because I saw that there was a trailer for when I went and saw that Cinderella's Revenge movie for screenwriter Tom Joliffe. His movie was playing in the theater here in Warrington, Pennsylvania. They had the Crow trailer. I think it was the Crow, and I think they had Twisters. It was like a Hollywood that's run out of ideas.
That's hilarious. I remember that back in the day when they had all these like superhero movies, and all they said was, "You can't worship false gods." They said in every trailer I watched, wherever that was. Maybe maybe it was No Escape actually with Wow.
Yeah.
Or Owen Wilson. That's his name.
Right.
I had something about what I was going to mention to you, but now I forgot. Maybe I'll remember it during the pod.
Yeah, as we go through. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know about this Crow thing. And also I hear Lionsgate is putting out another movie next week, called, that's that movie with Tyrese, 1992.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so Lionsgate's like dumping off all these movies. You got Borderlands, I heard that was a dud. You got Crow. Now this Tyrese Ray Liotta movie, that should go straight to streaming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to see it, but I mean, like, it's going to theater? Is it like, didn't look theater ready? Because I don't know if you saw an ad for it recently.
No, I didn't. So that Tyrese movie's going to the theater.
I guess go to theater this weekend or last month, like August 30th or whatever.
Yeah, that's this Friday, right? I think would be the 30th. Yeah.
So,
wow.
I mean, they're really tamping down the ads on TV. Well, I don't really watch ads on TV anymore, but
yeah,
the ads on silly old Instagram, and the ad's really weird. It's like, so Tyrese says, "Are we gonna have a problem, homie?" That's Tyrese, right?
Right.
Then Ray Liotta says, "Yeah, we're gonna have a problem, homie. Yeah, rat." No, I added the rat. It's like he says that. It's like, "We're gonna have a problem, homie." It's like, it's like, so they both say homie, and it says 1992 coming this Friday. It's like, I don't think that's the best ad campaign. If you just hear Ray Liotta, who's been gone for 2 years now, saying homie.
Right. Well, exactly. And Lionsgate, I know they also did Lionsgate also did Borderlands. That's them too.
Yeah,
Oh,
so they're
geez.
putting up 3 duds in a row. Well, I'm assuming 1990 is a dud.
Yeah.
Too good for that. But yeah, Borderlands here is a total dud. I hear it's not good at all. I hear it's compromised. Very.
Yeah. It didn't look good. I saw the trailer for that, and of course it also flopped pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I guess
Oops. And Lionsgate needs to just stick with Randall Emmett. Just like stick with that little guy. I guess I was looking him up because I gotta send you the picture. Someone it was a Vulture or Vanity Fair. They had like a funny like drawing of Randall Emmett and all these like and like Nicolas Cage and stuff. I took a screenshot. It's all very silly. Maybe I can send it to you right now while we're doing this live. It's live radio, everyone. Time for.
Well, yeah, because I mean the big Lionsgate one, right, is the John Wick movies, which I think they've got another John Wick movie they're planning to do. So they're at least planning to do that. But man, yeah, the Crow one, I think they must have thought that they could get a similar audience to the John Wick movies.
Yeah,
and
they call it Goth Wick or something. They're just like that. And you have something there. People like revenge. I think people don't like it's called The Crow.
Right, exactly.
We've been saying that for months, maybe years, when it's supposed to come out. I just sent you the pictures, by the way. But we should probably talk about the movies we have.
Well, let's jump in. So I guess we'll start with Blowback. We'll do what Age Before Beauty. I don't know beauty like that matters between Cam Gigandet.
I mean, like crud before more crud.
Right. I mean, Cam is a couple of years older than Lutz. Now, we had planned on doing this one in a previous episode, and we pushed it back, I think, right? Because we got it. Was it because we did Fortress instead? I can't remember what we pushed back to do. Oh no, was it the Final Kill because it had Dr. Drew, right? We figured.
Yeah. Blowback was on our list for a while because hey, look, Randy Couture,
Right.
And then, Final Kill is Dr. Drew and Randy Couture and Billy.
That's right. It does have Randy Couture. Yeah, and then I think maybe it was Bloodline Killer that we bumped because of the Tyrese factor.
Right, and he was, The System, great movie.
Yeah.
So, but now we have Blowback.
Blowback. Yeah. So maybe I'll give a quick synopsis.
Please, go ahead.
So Cam Gigandet, so
Fancy.
according to the trivia, IMDb trivia, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Gigandet, but again, like I said, if we call him Gigandet, whatever we want to call him,
Yeah, let's
I
call him.
think it's fine. But
You're getting that. It's like,
yeah. So his daughter is actually Katya from Ruthless. So we have two connections to Ruthless because
yeah,
this
she did
movie,
look familiar. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, there
that's
she.
yeah, it's Katya from
Emma.
Ruthless. And then the next movie we watched, Do Justice, the director of that was the writer of Ruthless. So
Oh, and
yeah, so
Ruthless
we get some connections there. Melissa Diaz, that's the actress. But
will
um
haunt our dreams.
yeah. So anyway, she's dying from a rare form of cancer, and I guess she's too old for St. Jude, right? I guess maybe that's why they're not taking her to St. Jude. But as is always the case, he needs some fast cash, and he finds out that a mobster has some cryptocurrency on some like portable external hard drives, and they're going to steal them. He needs to steal them from a bank vault, and he's got someone who will buy them off of him. So it's a cool $2 million, which is great because he can help out the daughter. So to get a crew together, he has a friend who runs a gym that is essentially like she's dating. She's kind of stuck under the thumb of Randy Couture. He's like a crime boss guy who's like running her gym and all this kind of stuff. And if you look at a lot of covers, they have Randy Couture on them as opposed to Gigandet. But anyway, so he hooks up with Couture and Couture's buddies, and they go and do the heist. Everything seems to work well until we find out that, well, no, actually Randy Couture and his buddies they double cross him. He survives the double crossing. He wakes up in the hospital. He gets out of the hospital. He goes to the mob boss, and the mob boss is like, "Okay, if you think you can get my money back, I'll let you have one of my guys, and we'll take care of it." And so now it's just a revenge thing as he goes to find this sack of external hard drives. And yeah, we led, and we had Sons of Anarchy outside of my place a little second ago.
I were
But
today.
yeah, and our police officers, before we jump in, there's two police officers on the case. We've got Louis Mandalore and Texas Battle, right? Was the other cop? Is that?
Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
always coming back to these folks.
yeah. We got some Texas Battle here, but yeah, Ty, what did you think of Blowback?
It wasn't great. So it's like actually compared to Do Justice, actually this was actually better than Do
Right,
Justice.
exactly. This is more palatable than Do Justice, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, which it's like I was like, oh, this Blowback wasn't very good, but then Do Justice,
Hmm.
well, actually was worse. But yeah, so I thought in the beginning to talk about the Ryan Phillippe factory here. So I thought. I thought it'd be funnier if it really was the Ryan Phillippe factory that he just rip off other Ryan Phillippe titles.
Hmm.
So it would be like Gruel Intentions or Day of the Gun. Instead of Antitrust, it's Trust.
Yes, yes.
And
Or
then,
or if they did like DTV sequels of Phillippe movies with
that'd be great.
Gigandet playing the Phillippe part, right?
Yes,
Like
he could just keep playing Sebastian in Cruel Intentions.
right, exactly.
Or it's a good movie, Cruel Intentions. But Cruel Intentions could have been funny. They already
Yes,
have
it would.
Cruel Intentions 2 and 3.
Right.
That's what I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
So let me think here. He was very CW acting, Cam Gigandet, with Katia. I'm calling her Katia too. Let me see. Oh wait, Couture's or his friend was it Couture's friend? Kind of like Kim Kardashian. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Or maybe it was like the bank manager lady's like, wait, is that Kim Kardashian? It's like, oh, it's like, I guess she's too classy for this. It's like,
Right.
and then, but it was very similar to movies like Desperate Measures, and Dilemma.
Hmm.
I never saw Dilemma though. It's C. Thomas Hall and Danny Trejo. And Desperate Measures, of course, is Michael Keaton, and Andy Garcia. Do you ever see that one?
Yes, desperate. Yeah, a long time ago. So I've heard that's a good rewatch. I don't know. Have you seen that one recently?
Recently, I thought it was all right. I mean, like it's a perfect movie to watch in the morning. Desperate Measures. Same with this movie, which I did. I watched in the morning right away, like right and early. Let's see. So yeah, Couture. What was his name in it again? I don't think I wrote it down.
Jack. Just Jack.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think he may have had a last name, but Jack. That's because
right.
Gigandet is Nick.
Yeah.
And so I mean the best one, the one who has a full name is this guy Jerry
Nick Gibson.
Foster, who was like doing the double crossing. He has a full name. He's Jerry Foster, but beyond that, yeah, everybody else is just like kind of one name, right? It's just
Yeah, that's the power of the stupid ring. What has the town wrought, which is my note here. You got the town. People love Ben Affleck. If town good movie, like, oh, let's rip off the town.
yes,
15 years later,
yeah,
and I was thinking about Couture and he looks like Dana White, which makes sense because he's
right.
guy. It's like, oh right, it's cauliflower ear. See, that's not makeup, right? That's his real
Right.
cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
I wonder what he thinks hearing or seeing cauliflower like on a salad.
Right.
It's like, does he get mad? It's just like, see, that's what I was thinking. I was like, because the movie wasn't really hooking me in. It's like,
I love the idea of a passive aggressive chef like putting a lot of because I think he's like proud of the cauliflower ear because he's like such an accomplished wrestler that like he likes it. But I do like the idea of a passive aggressive chef like
yeah,
loading a dish up with cauliflower to try to get under his skin.
he's like, okay, I don't like you, Randall. Randall Couture, not Randall Lemon.
Right, exactly.
Wait,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching him in the UFC, and for like the longest time, he was just like absolutely dominant because of his wrestling ability. He was so good. And then he would fight Chuck Liddell, and Chuck Liddell learned how to keep him from tackling him. He could block him, and then he knocked him out. And I remember Couture talked about the first time he was ever knocked out by Chuck Liddell. It was the first time he had ever been knocked out. Period. And he's like, yeah, it's a crazy experience. Like you're standing one minute, and the next minute you're on the floor. You wake up and you're on the floor. And so
that's crazy. I mean, like. I think Ken Shamrock, if I'm not mistaken, he was in Virtuosity. That was like when you first time you kind of see MMA.
Yes, yeah.
Movie. And to quote Virtuosity in the MMA scene, kapow. Have you ever seen the movie? But all I do is yell kapow while Ken Shamrock kicks someone in the background.
Right.
It's a great movie. It's a masterpiece. I can talk about the rest of my life. I have it on all four forms. I have it on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, and laser. And
nice! You got it on laser too. Oh, that's excellent.
I have the CD soundtrack, and I have the book, the novelization of Virtuosity.
That's awesome.
I just love it too much. But I was gonna say about this. Yeah, cauliflower. I don't know. I mean, like. Can he hear okay? I want to look into this more.
Yeah, so all it is that when he's when he was wrestling, right? Somebody would put him in a headlock, and when they've got you in a headlock like that, it causes like I think it's like blood vessels to burst in the ear. Yeah. And then it like calcifies, and that's where you get the like a lot of these UFC guys get them because of the wrestling aspect of it. Like you just are you just deal with it all the time, I guess.
It's a kind of interesting kind of thing. That's probably more interesting than the movie. Oh, there's that fake. There's a couple of fake things, like this fake Kim Kardashian. I thought was funny. Oh wait, this line of dialogue I have. You can push him around, but just a little. When you go back to the heist,
yes, right.
A little.
Right. So to give people an idea of what was happening, so Gigandet is in front of a whiteboard explaining to Couture and the crew how the thing's going to go, and he had a guy on the inside. So the way that the heist works is that he had the assistant manager on the inside who was going to show them where the boxes were and what to steal. So what they were doing is waiting for the manager to go pick up her daughter from Little League or something like that, and that's when the manager is essentially in charge. And he goes, yeah, you can knock him around a little bit. Just I guess to make it look good, but it's like kind of a funny thing to just be like, yeah, knock him around, and I guess that they I think they hit him with the butt end of the gun at one point, which is a little bit much.
Yeah, so it's like, but that wasn't just a little,
Right. Well, then Couture, right? We find out when the double cross happens, we know the double cross is happening when Couture kills the bank manager during the heist. That's when we know that it's going to hit the fan at that point.
And then let's see other fake things. Oh yes, I have. After the heist, there's like a fake Static X song. That's what it sounded like.
Yes, right.
Yeah, don't push it. That's the real Static X song. But it was like, move it, Yeah, you gotta move it.
Right, right,
Like, that was funny. And
right.
then I love the guy, the fake. There's that fake John Cusack guy that Cam talks to. And you remember, he's like, "I'm gonna break all your fingers." Like he's looked just like Cusack. It's like, do you remember his character?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Sounds like Christopher Walken too. So he sounds like Christopher Walken, but he looks like John Cusack now with the slicked back hair and the silliness.
Was
No,
that the one that tried to bring the flowers for the for his daughter?
remember? I think something like, yeah. It's like, well, let me talk to you about making a deal. I mean, the movie's so kind of. I almost forgot most of it. As long as I wrote it down. But he's like, he's talking to the guy. He looks like John Cusack, and it's like, "Well, what if I just
Oh,
break all your fingers?" And
oh,
then
right,
he
right.
says,
The
"Yeah,
mob boss.
need it for the heist here, please."
Yes, the mob boss, right? The mob
It is a mob.
boss.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
remember
Cause
his name.
yeah, so what happens is he once he gets once he so he survives the shooting where they're
Right.
gonna take him out in the double cross. He goes to the hospital, he realizes he's got to figure out what's going on. So he goes to the lawyer of the mob boss and says, hey, whatever the guy's name was, like, your classic, like, Italian last name, right? Because they're not messing around with that. It's going to be definitely an Italian last name. He's going to want to talk to me, and he's like, okay, yeah, all right. And so Valenti, that was the act that the mob boss's name, Valenti. So the actor was Gabriel Burafato. Um, yeah, so he goes and he sees him at this like antique shop or like a lamp shop or something, like a lamp fixture kind
Right.
of place. And that's right. The guy's like, I'm gonna break all your fingers or whatever. And
Yeah.
he's like, but you need me to help you steal back your things, right? Because the idea is, and I don't think this is how it works with insurance. I don't think this is how insurance goes. I know this because of the Guy Fieri. Remember the Guy Fieri? There's that situation where his Lamborghini was stolen,
Mhm.
and it turned out this guy that stole a Lamborghini was into all kinds of crazy stuff. But Guy Fieri, he had to testify because they found the Lamborghini when they arrested this guy. And he was in court and they asked him about the Lamborghini. He said, yeah, my son was asking about, when do we get to drive it again? And I said, well, no, we don't get to drive it because the insurance covered it. So the insurance company gets the Lamborghini. So you can't just like double dip like that, right? You can't claim the insurance and then get your money because that's what Cam Gigandet is offering the mob boss. He's saying, you get your insurance money, right, for the drives getting stolen, but then I'll find your drive so you get that money too. And he's like, okay, I'm in, but first, right, he's like, what's to stop me from breaking all your fingers right now? And he's like, well, you know, I won't be able to steal your drives back if you do. Oh, okay, all right, that's on. It's like,
It's
all
like
right,
that was kind of funny. That helped the movie a little bit. I
yeah,
mean, like, but then it becomes kind of just kind of run of the mill. And I wanted to care. I really did.
yeah,
It didn't work. Didn't care.
no,
Uh,
no,
I mean, like, now that I was looking at my due justice notes, which we'll get to shortly, I guess. It's actually, this was better. This was way better.
it is a little bit. I mean, the other thing too that this movie has is it has what you guys call the prerequisite torture scene.
Yeah, it sure
Um,
did. Yeah.
but what's interesting here is that it's not Gigandet who's getting tortured. It's one of the guys in the gang who they capture, and the mob boss that the or the sorry the hatchet man, the mob boss assigns to help Gigandet. He's the one doing the torturing. So it's a little bit different in that sense. Usually, right? Usually it's Gigandet who'd be getting the torturing, but he he
Yeah.
he
But
survives it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to recommend this one.
No,
Uh, I see the thing. It seems like Randy Couture is kind of coasting on Phoenix here.
right,
I like Randy Couture in the movie, but he's coasting right now.
right,
I mean, he
exactly.
coasted on Phoenix for the final kill. He's coasting on Phoenix um, on this one. I like that he's still making these junkers. I think it's just like he's just kind of waiting for the next Expendables to come out. It's like, all right, what's the next junker?
Right,
Oh, I had
exactly.
Blowback today. It's like I live. Would he wear a scally cap in Final Kill, right?
The final kill, right? Yes, yeah, the Scally Cap, which was fantastic as
Yeah,
well.
I started thinking, yeah, scally cap.
Yeah.
Would you wear a scally cap? I mean, like, do you ever want to wear a scally cap? Like, what's your opinion?
So yeah, it's interesting because I think I did own one when I was early in college because I think, I guess by proximity, I was close enough to Boston that I felt it. I think I had an Adidas scally cap, so it's even worse. And I thought it looked cool when I wore it, but looking back on it now, I should never have done that. But I think yeah, it's like nowadays. I think I just go with no cap if I need to look like somewhat professional. I'm just not going to wear a
Right.
hat at all, as opposed to the scally cap and act like I'm doing something that's a little bit more professional.
And it wasn't that thing from our damn these kids today, no cap, which means you're not lying,
Not
right?
lying, right? No cap. That's right. No cap, right? No
So
scally cap.
no cap, no cap, yeah.
I kind of like that as taking it like another level, right? Like, it's like no cap is one thing, I'm not lying, but like no scally cap. It's like I'm
Yeah,
really, really not lying. Like
really not lying. Like, oh, there's
right,
no scally cap. It's like
right. No scally cap, right?
Ben Shapiro should be rapping about, I mean,
Yes.
I'm still annoyed about that. It's like, I never saw that video. I think I mentioned it before, but it's,
No.
I got the popo after the South America. Hold on.
Oh, oh yes, yeah, the police. Yeah, usually it's me because we live like right near a fire station. So usually it's me
Yeah.
that's like every 2 seconds I got to be like, up, hold the phone. But yeah, you see me
We,
dealing with it. Yeah,
yeah, we live near an older folks' home, so some people are probably, not doing so hot there. So,
oh yeah. You never know, like when. Yeah.
so I know, yeah, what's the thing about, what's his name? Ben Shapiro. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you haven't watched that rap video yet, right? It's really
No.
embarrassing. I mean, like, watch it and cringe, as people say. It's like I'm hoping he's joking.
Yeah.
I mean, he must be. I don't know. I mean, like, first off, I see that the Daily Wire isn't doing so hot. I mean, like, they're not doing so hot. Like, I think, do people really want to sign up for that? I mean, like,
Yeah, I think
those
they
are political
initially.
persuasions.
Yeah, I think because as the right keeps going further right, the kind of the white nationalist thing. I mean, they're very anti-Semitic, and so it's like, you know, they don't want to hear from a Jewish guy, even if he is, like on the right. And so, yeah, I think that it's like one of those things where, he threw it his lot with the Republican side of things, and they're kind of like, we're not really, that we're much more racist and anti-Semitic than you want to believe. I mean, I think Shapiro is more on the racist side too, but I think I think he's probably
Exactly.
seeing it.
Exactly. It's like JD Vance. I mean, I know he maybe, what's the he that he's making love to couches all day. I mean, that is
Right.
that you cannot freaking shake. But
Right.
wow, I mean, thank goodness I'm not JD Vance. Plus, I
Right.
saw him without a beard, and he looks like just some like fat troll guy. Like that would be like on the Daily Wire. I don't know if like who are you? And the
Yeah.
beard looks okay. I mean, it's a
Right.
quality beard. I'll give him that. I mean, like
Yeah.
that. Go
No
ahead.
beard. Well, I was gonna say no beard. He looks like an extra in like a late '80s, early '90s, like Fred Olin Ray, Amir Shervan, like action movie, right? And like the hero's just gonna come up behind him and like Uzi fire, and he's gonna like maybe shake and fall over. Like
Yeah.
no beard, that's what he looks like. Which, to be honest, like the nostalgia factor does make it a little bit more endearing, because you're like, oh man, if he just had a mullet, he'd be perfect.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I heard the rumor, of course. Maybe I'm assuming it's true that Trump didn't like JD Vance's beard. I don't think he likes beards, Trump.
No, right. You got
I
to be
like
clean
beard.
shaven for him. Yeah, yeah.
You ever see Trump with a beard? I totally have a beard
Right.
now. It's totally gray, or actually it's orange. It's an orange beard.
Or right. I remember I talked to my doctor. He said you could grow the greatest beard. You'd be better than Paul Bunyan with that beard. It'd be the best beard ever. You'd be like the next Santa Claus with that beard. But I said no beards, no beards for me. I'm not growing a beard.
Excuse me. No beard, no beard. It's like that would be funny if Trump is Santa Claus. Totally getting jolly, very jolly.
Yeah,
I go down the best chimneys.
right.
It's like,
Don't understand this Santa Claus guy handing things out. I don't hand out anything. Nobody
yeah,
gets anything from me. I,
yeah.
I hoard it all. Why doesn't he keep the toys? I don't understand why he didn't keep the toys. I'd keep the toys. I'd sell the ones I don't want and play with the ones that I like. That's what I would do. I don't understand this Santa Claus thing.
And the stocking stuffer is going to be, I would say all that. Like, you're going to get one free ticket to Trump University. You get
Trump water.
yeah, you get some Trump water and the stocking stuffer. Some Trump steak if I can fit it in there.
Right.
You get a free scholarship on me, free, to Trump University. It's kind of defunct now, but you can still go. It's like soon becoming soon Trump Kindergarten. Yeah, Trump Elementary School.
Well, only $1,500 a month to send your kid to Trump Elementary School. Teach them all the how to hoard all the toys and not let anybody else have any toys. We don't teach sharing at Trump Elementary School.
Oh my yes, and also everyone looks like Trump at the school when they're kids, and
Right.
it's like that silly show that was on Comedy Central called Little Bush.
Right.
So it'd be Little Trump. So it'd be Little Trump, and then Little Vance,
Right.
and like who else is in his team? Oh, Little Bannon. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it would be amazing. Like all the kids, because you have to wear like a uniform to school. Like
yes,
they all have to wear suits with like the big long ties that like almost touch the the pavement and the street.
I saw some picture of Trump. He's like, the tie is really down to his feet.
Yeah,
like,
that thing just keeps getting longer.
Yeah, it just gets longer now. It's like it's all very. Only he doesn't like beards. I mean, like I hear he doesn't like a lot of stuff, but I mean, like,
right. But it is scary, like, because I guess he does more things like outside and stuff. So he doesn't do a lot of things that involve escalators. But it's kind of scary, just because how many movies do we see where things get caught in escalators? And it's like a big horror movie thing. It's like there's a whole thing about him almost being assassinated. But I'm a little bit more concerned about that tie with escalators, like that's.
You'll get stuck in the escalator and the skin will fall out like Itchy and Scratchy cartoon.
Right, exactly.
Like, that's what I picture. And it's like, oh no, I totally got my skin inside out. I know it's kind of gross. Right. But I'm still alive. It's like, I keep popping back. They tried to shoot me. I'm still here.
Absolutely right. Exactly.
Tried to shoot me. They didn't take the shot. They took the shot, like you hear in these classic movies. Right. One shot, one kill. Trumper, instead of sniper. It's like. He's Brandon Beckett, but he's Brandon Trumpet. But just like, you can put him in anything. That's what that's what's great about Trump. You can plug him into anything you want. It's always usually pretty funny. It's just like, okay, I'm looking at my collection right now. Italian Color of Night, Trump of Night, Bruce Willis. Let's not go too far at the full frontal nudity. Okay. My hair cannot go in the pool. In that pool scene, I don't go in pools. It's like,
oh yeah, he's got to be staying away from pools, any of those kinds of things. I mean,
he bodies the water.
He would have been great as the mob boss in Blowback, I think, right? If he's just like sitting there with his, So wait, you're saying I'm going to get $2 million for ripping off the insurance? Oh, yeah. He'd probably be like. He's like, I've tried that one before. It doesn't work. Let me show you how to really rip off the insurance companies. These are the ways you do it. That trick, I've tried that one before. It's old hat. So hey, Marty, why don't you break his fingers? Because he's no good to us here. We're not going to be, we've already got the insurance money. This isn't going to work. And that's like the movie. The movie ends like right there. It's like a 35-minute movie instead of a 90-minute movie.
And then I watched this on Tubi. I'm trying to remember the ads. Just to wrap up this crud.
So we had the new Sonic burger. The
one that Sonic burger again.
Yeah, it's like a smash burger with like Thousand Island dressing, and it's like there's a young woman with pink hair who's like saying how this is your new favorite. And then there's a guy who looks like Guy Fieri who's using like an old flip phone to like taste. He's like, I really hate change, man. And that's one commercial I remember. And then a lot of online casinos. That's a big thing.
Well, you get the same ones. I got like some like Uber Eats commercial or something.
Oh yes.
I got that a lot. And then so I guess compared to Do Justice, this is a masterpiece. But
yes, which I know we're doing a really rough job of selling what's coming up after.
Maybe we should have Do Justice first, but I guess I just watched it how I did in order.
Yeah. We could. Why don't we do? Yeah, I was gonna say we take a break, but it's up to you if you want to. We could take a break, or we could go right through and just jump.
Break. Any final thoughts? As you usually ask me about this movie, do you recommend it? Did you like any of it, or?
No, I'm the same as you. I think the only things that I think were okay about it is a little bit smaller scale. I mean, it's like 90 minutes long. It's a kind of it moves a little bit better than some of like what we talking about for the next movie. So there's some of those pieces of it where it's like it could almost work as a time killer, but I think it's just too. Yes. I don't know. It's just too unremarkable. It needed a hook. The way like Phoenix had a hook, the way some of these movies have a hook, it needed something that it could that could get us there.
it's so close to actually being like an okay movie, like an okay time
Yeah.
killer. I recently wrote down okay
Right.
in my notes. Great note taking, but I mean, like, okay, it's like,
Right. It was close to okay, right? It was
yeah,
like
it really
it,
was close to okay.
yeah. It saw okay coming up the highway,
Yeah, it did.
and it got
Yeah,
off the wrong exit.
yeah.
It needed to get off the okay exit, and it unfortunately got off on another exit, and it
It
on the
went to crud.
non-okay exit. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to crud, and
Yeah.
it's like
The crud exit.
crud. Yeah, exit cruddy 3.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. Well, yeah.
yeah. All I got.
Anything else on this one? Anything else in this movie?
Let me think. I mean, like I guess the ending was okay. You know, we got Kim Gigandet, what's his name? Kim
So,
Giganate.
right, exactly. So according to the way they spelled it out on the trivia of his IMDb page is G, like
Right,
J-I,
right.
G, and then Gan in big letters, Gigan, and
Gigan.
then Day, D-A-Y.
Okay.
That's how
Got
they say, But I mean, my last name is French, and I just say Poirier, so it's not
right.
like I'm like Poirier,
Yeah, you'll do
It's
that,
like
or like it's Perrier. It's
right,
Perrier.
exactly, Perrier. Yeah, right.
Not
Yeah,
really. It's kind
yeah,
of the 50 jig. Not really 50 now.
right.
But Trump. Actually, Trump will be coming back very shortly in Due Justice because there's something very similar. So I guess we could. Would you like to take a break?
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do here, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with Due Justice, the
Oh,
second of our Phillippe Factory. So yeah, so we'll be right back.
second one.
All right, we are back, and yeah, the second of our Phillippe Factory movies is Due Justice, which
Yeah.
it
Okay.
was done this was done by the guy who wrote Ruthless, Javier Rayner. He directed this one. A few things about this movie. It was originally supposed to be called Pálido, which means pale face, and it was supposed to have the guy who, I think, the guy who plays, not Jerry, one of the actors, one of the baddies in the movie. He was supposed to be the hero, but it was Kiko, the one who, Raymond Power, the one who was supposed to play, who played Kiko in the movie. He was supposed to play the hero, but when they found out they could get Lutz, they rewrote it and called it Due Justice.
Well,
It,
that
yeah,
makes sense because they really dumbed this down. I have a bunch of notes on this, but
yeah,
I didn't want to forget. You know, we were talking about the Expendables
yeah,
before, or star in the movie Glenn Powell and Randy Couture.
yeah, and Kellen Lutz, yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
lot. Let's
yeah.
not forget about me, Gunnar Jensen. This dude's singing in my Dolph impression. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I imagine people were listening and being like, "Oh, you're forgetting Dolph when you're talking about
yes, I
Expendables
always
3."
forget
So,
and
yeah,
forget. Like, of course, then I'll just do it a few other ways. Like, I guess the show's over. And I just love saying that. It's just like,
yeah.
it's just so perfect. I mean, I should find some other Dolph quotes, but
And it's
what go
interesting
ahead.
because Dolph,
Yeah.
you know, these roles that like Lutz and Gigandet are inhabiting, they're kind of the parts that Dolph would have done before. But Dolph was like, he's such a bigger, imposing figure, right? He's like 6'5" as
Oh,
opposed to like six
yeah.
even that these guys are. He knows martial arts. I mean, these guys know martial arts too. They've trained, but he's like kind of this special athlete that you used to. I don't. You think of like some of the ones like Direct Contact that weren't the best movies, but there's Dolph with like like his blonde hair and designer
Yeah.
jeans, who's just like beating the crap out of a bunch of people in a Sidney J. Fury movie or
It's
whatever.
perfect. It's so, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, direct action. You know, I got my shirt, I got that white shirt on. It's like, what they say? It's like corruption, murder. It's like, you call that this, or I screwed this quote up. I mean, it's like, it's so perfect for the trailer.
yeah.
Uh,
It is
yeah,
something like that though. It's like there's this it quality with Dolph that
yes,
I
yeah.
think Philippi has it on a slightly lower level.
Mm.
And then these guys, these Phillippe Factory guys, have
Yeah.
it even less. But
Oh,
it's
they have
almost like they
something.
really want to bring it home. That like they kind of want to force it because you can only make so many movies with Dolph, especially now with Dolph getting older. And then Philippi is almost like I think he's doing more TV stuff, and he's only doing like a smaller amount of these movies.
And he's making these weird movies. Like I watched, well, there was Prey, the one
Yeah,
where he fights the lion,
Right.
and then Miranda's Justice. It's like a courtroom drama. I couldn't recognize him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, that's Ryan Phillippe. Because he was supposed to make some show. It's like he's like Frankenstein's monster, which that will be coming back and Spotlight on a fight. So get ready for that.
Yes.
But wow, I could not believe that. But it was like, I forget what it's called, like Second Chance or something like that. But I guess I never got past the pilot stage for Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah.
Shooter, that was a quality program. I mean, did you watch the first season at least, or no?
No, I never saw the show. I saw the movie, with Marky Mark. And
Oh, oh right. It's like what did he say? Oh, I'm gonna screw up my quotes today. Oh, exactly. It's like we're coming there. I said, Senator. Exactly. Shooting Ned Beatty in the face. It's like, no, because what a sentence that is. He shoots Ned Beatty in the face. That's amazing.
Yes.
And then he blows up. What a movie! What a great movie that's.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you see the trailer for this new Marky Mark movie? Not the one on Netflix. The Union, or not the Union. Flight Risk.
No.
It doesn't look really good, but it's directed by Mel Gibson, and it's like Fear, like on a plane, basically, and he just looks like Clint Howard, Marky Mark. So he has no hair or very limited.
Yeah.
And so it's Marky Mark looking like Clint Howard fighting like two people on a little mini airplane. Like, this is going to the theater? It's like, I was not impressed by this trailer. And it's like, what? I don't get it. Maybe it's because of, people that have no ideas anymore. But you can find out. They hide the part where he has no hair, by the way. They're really hiding that. It's just like they shoot from the bottom of his head. So that's supposed to be a surprise that he looks like Clint Howard. But this behind the scenes photo is like, what the hell is going on? Do you see Marky Mark on these Instagram things too? It's like, praise up, Jesus, pray it up.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Because I see that I get them on Twitter. That's where I get them. Yeah.
It's like, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, eat my creatine, pray it up. It's like,
right.
I make these crud movies, pray it up. He hasn't been anything good in a while. I wonder if the Union is good, but it's not. Maybe. I don't know. Netflix movies are always mediocre. I can't think of a good one. I don't. Do you have an example of a good one?
Because it's interesting because I was thinking about I agree with you there that like I can't think of one where I was just like blown away by it. Like you think of like what was the one? There was the one that had Woody Harrelson and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Where she's an assassin.
Kate. I like that one.
Kate. It's good, right? It's good. It's like long. It was longer than it needed to be. I think it was over 2 hours long. But even if it was like 145, it was like long.
I enjoyed that. But yeah, that's a good point. So that was not only that was a few years ago. It still falls into the good category for Netflix. You have to put it on that marker.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for Netflix, right? It does what you need it to do, but it's like it seems like a lot of what Netflix. Mitch from Video Vacuum was talking about this. That a lot of times, like the trending movies on Netflix, there's like some TNT new classic that they grabbed from the '90s, and that's like in the top 5. It's like kids are like rediscovering something. Like I don't know. I was gonna say like True Lies, but that's not on there. But something along those lines. Something in that vein.
Like a Broken Arrow.
Right, Broken Arrow, exactly. Like that's the kind of movie that like they would discover on and it would be on Netflix and it would be trending above like some of these other ones like Extraction 2 or whatever that they're or Rebel Moon, those kinds of things.
Oh yeah, I did watch that. I watched that long version. I mean, if you like Ed Skrid, and don't we all?
Right.
He could be almost a Phillippe Phactory, but he's like British Phillippe.
Yes.
He basically saved it. And only watch part 1, this new director's cut, if you're interested. But Damsel, I watched that a few months ago. That was mediocre as all get out.
Yeah.
I think first off, the Dragon Talks. If you saw the ads for this, it's the girl from Stranger Things. I forget her name, but it's what's her name again? I forget. But so she fights the dragon. The dragon talks. Like, is this Dragon Heart? I mean, it's like what I thought was. I saw that when I was a kid. Like, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But I think did we make that joke before, or is that on a different podcast where you can make anyone do Dragonheart? That's a something more for impressions. I think like you like Dragonheart. I think there's like 3 of them. I think Ben Kingsley's in Dragonheart 3.
Yeah.
Obviously the first person you'd think it would be Trump. Like, like Dragon Trump. It's a gay. I'm a dragon. It's gay. Throwing fire to the libs.
Right.
I'm a dragon. I'm also a dragon. Or I guess that'd be Dolph. You have an impression? I mean, like,
well, because Dolph did In the Name of the King 2 that had a dragon in it, I think, right?
Yeah, even that one. The third one had Dominic Purcell, which I definitely had a dragon.
Yes, that's a beautiful scene in the third one when Purcell like does an execution and then he gets a coffee and it's almost like a callback to Goodfellas, where Pesci's like, take that coffee to go, and the guy starts to do it. He's like, get out of here, after they killed Samuel L. Jackson.
He killed Stacks.
Yeah,
I think it's Stacks. Like,
right, exactly. Yeah, but you can see Dolph. Yeah, I love doing movies with Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
The dragon. There was a dragon in the movie. It was great. I'm having trouble with my Dolph. I'm trying to think of a good Dolph line. Don't wait for me. It's from Red. What was it?
Red Dawn.
No, not Red. Agent Red. Agent Red. Don't wait for me. Yeah. Like, do you think you can fly this thing? Hell if I know. Like that's kind of where my Dolph impression comes from. Those 2 lines. Hell if I know, and don't wait for me. That's where it all kind of stems from that. So I guess I have to always say those 2 lines first to get into Dolph character.
Right, you get into that springboard. It's
right.
Like, Stallone was a dragon. It's like what? Or I guess I'm trying to see if I can do Jet Li as a dragon. I know it's my Jet Li. That's insane. I can't. It's like I have to do my other thing. It's like don't do that again. It's like don't be a dragon again. Like, so we are working for the agency. That's from Expendables 1, and it's just like I saw that in the trailer today because I was watching it. Remember when Jet Li was in these movies? I mean, like where was Jet Li in Expendables 4? They really could have used him, from what I hear.
Yeah.
That Meg Fox and 50 Cent. Do people call him? I'm assuming people call her Meg. What's it? She's like an AI robot in some movie. Has like almost a fancy title for a Megan Fox movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Did you? Let me see if I can figure that out. And then we could probably talk about our movie that we're avoiding.
But our Due Justice, because
Due Justice. Subservience. So that's kind of almost a fancy title for you, Meg.
Yeah.
Did you see this trailer for this other movie, and it has Sasha Luce from that movie called Anna?
Oh, I don't. Is that the new AI movie?
Yeah, I mean, it looked okay. I mean, it looked like classic, like there's someone after me, but it's really a fictional.
Right.
A little tired of that cliche, but
yeah.
Oh, Latency. See, it's like, that almost sounds like a fancy title, Latency.
Right.
And Subservience. Maybe we're running out of like dumb titles. So, well, the dumbest title really is just Dog. That Channing Tatum movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
No.
What else you got? Nah.
No.
Well, there's Pig. Pig is a Nicolas Cage movie. Pig.
Which that one's a great one. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. So sometimes you can get away with it.
Yeah, if you get away with just one thing. Well, also all Statham titles are all usually just one word.
Mm-hmm.
War. You got Chaos.
Yeah. Transporter. Yeah.
Cellular. Beekeeper.
Beekeeper. The Beekeeper.
Do you watch The Beekeeper yet? Or no?
No, I've got to see that one. I've got like a whole backlog of stuff I've got to catch up on. Yeah, I'm like.
Do you have like a list? Like it's all on my notes on my phone.
Yeah. So I used to do a list on Letterboxd, but I stopped adding things to it. Yeah. I was like,
I love Letterboxd. I mean, I put it on Letterboxd while I watch the movie because I'm gonna finish it.
Yes.
Like, that's otherwise noted.
That's a good idea because I do it like I'll do like the Letterboxd like as the credits are rolling,
mm-hmm.
But that is a good point to be like it makes you you're gonna finish it then. But I guess I always feel like I don't want I guess I don't. Would that be considered stolen valor to log a movie on Letterboxd that you didn't actually watch?
that Tim Waltz guy, or whatever, that's back to politics. He has stolen valor, or some other people have stolen. I don't even understand.
No, well, so like because what it was he retired. He wasn't in favor of the war in Iraq, so he retired to be a politician so he could do something about the war. And it was right before his troop was going to Iraq because he was in the reserves. So it's like it's not quite stolen valor because he never said he fought. Like it's his troop did, his group did fight, but he didn't. So it's almost like maybe not stolen valor, but more like he had the ability to resign. He had done enough time that he could retire. So yeah, so it's not quite that level of like I think they're trying to swift boat him with it, but I don't think it's going to stick. It's like
yeah, it's stuff sticking. I can't never tell because the news cycle is so fast in this politics stuff nowadays.
Yeah, well, because like the thing is JD Vance, right? He was in the Marines, but he also didn't see any combat. So it's kind of like, yeah. So it's like they can't say, well, Vance is this great decorated war hero, and and he fought, and it's like yeah. So they don't have that go back and forth. It's kind of like I think with Kerry, the thing with Kerry was that I think he had fought, and then he came and testified against the war. And I guess it kind of stuck to him better because there were veterans that didn't appreciate what he did. And
that's all we had in 2004. Like you could flip on him like, wow, it's on every channel every day.
Right, exactly.
Nowadays, this 24-hour news cycle is even worse than ever before. So
yeah,
it won't stick. I mean, like, I do remember the commercial. I think you still find that on YouTube. It's like there's some guy named Joe Ponder. It's like John Kerry was not a good soldier. It's
right, exactly.
Like Joe Ponder. I mean, he's like some like kind of. It's like okay. And what's really funny was I mean I can find this. My never go in like my room here because it's a mess.
Yeah,
but I drew a picture of the football veterans for truth, but in a silly way.
Right.
So it's like I wrote down Joe Ponder. I made up some other names like Flashbacky Simon and right. And then the last one I wrote one was John Kerry Jr. So it's like it's like somehow there's a John Kerry Jr. Well, there's a John Kerry. It's like, yeah, so flashback, and the guy has ears around his neck. It's like every Vietnam cliche.
Oh, right. Yes, you gotta have
it's a silly picture. Right?
Yeah. Well, the other thing too about Kerry that they talk about, like what torpedoed his campaign, is that he came here to Philly and ordered a cheesesteak with Swiss cheese, which is like a big no-no.
Oh no, disqualified.
Yeah. And so apparently, that was the thing that Chris the Vance, the
JD. I heard
JD Vance. I was calling him Chris Vance. Who is Chris Vance? Chris Vance is somebody, isn't he?
But like an actor who's on the Transporter TV show, which I should know.
That's right. Oh, that guy. He's fantastic. Yeah, because I think he was. Yeah, he was also on Supergirl. I think I
watched the first season a few months ago. Actually, it was pretty good.
Yeah, he played. Didn't he play? He played Non, who was like the big guy in the second Superman.
Oh, okay. See,
Jack Halloran's character. He played that character, and I think that character was invented for the movie. I think the like Zod was in the comic books, and then like Ursa, like her character like was like another character, Feora in the so like they were in the comic, but Non, I think they just created that character just to have him in there to be one of part of Zod's gang.
And before we get to the other himbo, which was who was the himbo in Superman 4? It was like dumb man or
Nuclear Man, yes.
Nuclear Man, not dumb.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, I haven't as we're recording this, I haven't gotten to Superman 4 yet in my so I've got through Superman 3, then I'm going to do Supergirl, and then I'm going to do Superman 4 and Superman Returns. So
in order of release date, is that way doing it?
Yeah, exactly. So because Supergirl was supposed to be her own like spin-off, but Superman 3 did so poorly that Warner shelved it. It was like a pre-Zaslav shelving. For Warner, so I guess they've had a history of doing that even before Zaslav, but then I guess like TriStar got a hold of it and released it, and it didn't do well in the theater, but so then
Supergirl was it Faye Dunaway?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Which apparently she was not fun to work with. That's what they said.
No, she never has been.
Right.
I mean, like this. Whoops.
Right.
I will be a little bit nicer. You're on. This is a job, lady.
Right. Yeah.
Also, smile more. Just sneak that into. But
right. Right. Well, I guess like also Marlon Brando was a pain in the first one too.
I don't know. I never understand people being a pain on the set.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Like,
I don't get it. I know it takes a long time to make a movie. You're there long hours. Get a patience of a saint. But
yeah.
being like annoying, like a Faye Dunaway or Marlon Brando, doesn't that just eat up more time?
Hmm. Right. Right. Well, and then also like with Brando, it was like I think Christopher Reeve. You can see he was on Letterman, and he just completely lit him up. He was like, "Yeah, I was all excited to work with Brando," and he just completely mailed it in, Or I think he said phoned it in. I think it's the expression he used was phoned it. He phoned it in. It was like
That's
it's like real
hilarious.
disappointment, It's like I couldn't believe it, and yeah,
I,
like apparently like some of his lines were like because there's the baby, right? There's the Superman baby, and he's like
right.
putting the baby. Yeah, apparently some of his lines were on the diaper because he was like, I'm not going to memorize my lines. Like he was open about it that I don't memorize lines.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah, and I think that's what Selleck said about him when he made Christopher Columbus: The Discovery or a movie
yeah,
star, or which I've seen. It's a weird movie.
yeah,
It's like you watch Selleck, he looks completely like he looks like he's out of his element. If he's wearing he has the mustache.
right,
He's like
yeah,
King Charles II or whatever. He's
yeah,
like he's wearing like this kind of armor. It's like it's like poor Tom Selleck.
yeah. I'm
Tom
wondering
Selleck
because
really should have done better action movies. I mean,
yeah. Uh, I'm
that was
wondering. So Selleck, Selleck was born in 45, so he's a lot because Reeve was born in 52. I was thinking they were like the same age, dealing with
oh no, Selleck's older. I mean, he
yeah,
looks
Selleck's
great in Blue Bloods, or P's, like all, but it's like
yeah,
no
he's
idea.
gonna be 80 this January. He'll be
My
80.
goodness. Well, he doesn't do much on the show anymore,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I can
thankfully it's the
imagine.
last season. But it's just like he
I
used
think
to
he
go.
complained about that. He was like, "Why are they making it the last season? Why don't they keep it going?" But
Like super easy gig for him. He just sits in a couple chairs, sighs as a character, and then the show. And it's really that's easy.
yeah,
All he does is like, okay, what's going on? Just
right,
like, and if you watch these later seasons of Blue Bloods, which I don't really recommend, jump ship at
hmm,
season 7.
yeah,
But it's all he does is just sigh. I mean, like the show's become a disaster. I know there's the last like 10 episodes are coming on CBS in October. Yeah,
hmm,
I'll watch it, but let's let me guess. We're gonna be at the dinner table at the end.
yeah,
But it's like spoiler.
yeah,
Yeah, but Tom Selleck, we should get do justice. But Tom Selleck
yeah,
really should have done better action movies. I know he was stuck on Magnum PI or happily be on Magnum PI for a long time,
yeah.
but I bet he didn't do anything like straight to video y. He's never done any of that kind of junky movie. Not really, right?
No, because he after Magnum or kind of yeah, right after Magnum, he got Three Men and a Baby, Three Men and a Little. Well, actually, Three Men and
Yeah,
a Baby came out while he was still finishing Magnum, and then he had Three Men and a Little. So he had these like big screen things that were happening. Mr. Baseball, right? I think it's the one where he
right.
goes to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was doing like small, like I mean, remember he was on Friends. He was dating Courtney Cox's character. I keep on calling her Courtney Cox's character. I don't have her actual name, but I guess
Rachel, Monica. I
Ra-
don't know.
Monica. Yeah, Monica. Yeah. So he kind of managed to keep doing TV stuff. And then of course, he gets into, I mean, Blue Bloods, right? That started in 2010. So
Sure did, yeah. So
yeah. So
we did these westerns. I mean, I liked. We all love Tom Selleck, but
yeah.
he didn't get to do the junky movies I want him to do.
No, he managed to avoid it by
Yeah,
getting small roles. Like remember, he was in and out
that's true. Without the mustache,
right
Kevin
without the mustache. Yeah, with what's his name?
Kevin
Yeah,
Kline.
Kevin Kline. Yeah. So he kind of he stayed above it in a way that like it is kind of fascinating when you think about it. Like because he should have been, but he always like I guess like when you look at someone like a Robert De Niro, Bob De Niro, as the
Yeah,
producers that work with him call him,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
He never had these TV shows the way that Selleck stayed in the TV show realm, and so he never had a need for like a quick payday.
That's a
Um,
good point. Yeah, because
yeah,
and he has that Tribeca Film Festival, so Bob De Niro needs to make money quick
yeah,
to keep that. I heard they had to keep that afloat. So he's like, "Well, what do you got? Like this, and this." Like, okay.
yeah.
So you like then you got Killing Season. You got of course Savage Salvation. Did you watch that yet? By the way,
No, I haven't. It says I know it's on Hulu. I gotta make it happen.
yeah, check it out. There's a hilarious bit by John Malkovich.
Okay, all
We
right,
have to wait till
perfect.
right till the end, but
All right,
I
excellent.
promise you will laugh.
Yeah,
Well, we should get to our movie. Okay.
Yeah, let's dive in here on so Do Justice again, as I was talking about. It's written by the guy who directed also by the guy who wrote Ruthless. So this also deals with trafficking. It's a little different kind of trafficking. In this case, it's little kids being used being captured and being used as organ donors. That's the trafficking ring, and it's mostly parents who are like addicted to drugs who sell their kids essentially to this. And the ring is run by Jeff Fahey.
Right, that was great to see in the beginning. I'll give him that. Hey.
Now, apparently it wasn't supposed to be Fahey. It was supposed to be someone else. According to the trivia, it was supposed to be William Forsythe, but he got COVID. And so he wasn't able to keep going. So they replaced him with Fahey, which I'm assuming is because the director, he'd worked with Fahey. Actually, he works with Fahey on the next movie. So Ruthless comes after this, I believe, doesn't it?
Oh, I think it does. Yeah. So yeah. Ruthless, trying his best.
Yes, we added him in there. So so this was actually, it was originally supposed to be Forsythe, which would have been interesting. I think Fahey does a little bit more with it.
I was surprised how much energetic Fahey was. Which we'll get to the notes. I'll wait till I get the notes. So
exactly. So the idea is that Kellan Lutz is a former special forces guy, like they all are, right? So actually, we never knew what Gigandet was. We don't know if he was special forces or whatever. But Lutz is your classic special forces guy who he's working as a real estate attorney, and he sees his brother at this gastropub cafe kind of place.
Yeah.
And the brother is talking to Fahey and Fahey's gang about getting involved with the gang and kind of working, their gangs and whatnot. And so when Fahey sends this woman, Roxy, played by Chelsea Lopez, over to talk to Lutz and finds out that the story the brother gave about Lutz was wrong. So Fahey then they capture the brother. The brother goes to the Lutz's wife's house where the daughter is, kills the wife, kills the brother, kidnaps the daughter, and now Kellan Lutz is on like a death spree. He's like out for blood. He wants to take all these guys down, kill everybody. And at the same time, we've got Efren Ramirez, right? Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. He's grown up now, and he's the cop. He's the detective. So that was an interesting addition to have him.
Efren Ramirez. Oh, it is Efren Ramirez.
Yes. Exactly. You're like, oh, is that Pedro from it is. It's him. And his boss is played by Nico. Is it Nico Foster? Is that the guy who was in Ruthless? He looks like a poor man's Nico Foster, the one who looks like a poor man's Don the Dragon Wilson. He plays the boss. So he's in this movie again as well. So maybe he's like a whatever this director's name is, mainstay.
He's like his Texas Battle or his
right. Right. He's a Texas Battle of sorts for Javier Reina, who's the writer and director.
Arquette guy though, which I catch him. I mean, like,
right? We didn't get we got a few people from those other movies, but I think so the basic idea, right, is that Lutz, he finally is trying to track down his daughter. I should mention we're probably gonna have to talk about spoilers when we talk about this movie because the spoilers I think get into the dud level of this thing because it's a bigger dud. Maybe I should let you go first because you let us know kind of what you had for notes and things like that on this
number one thing, which actually is number 20 on my notes, but number 20 on my notes, I called it Dud Justice, and that's what basically what this is.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do I have here? So right beginning, okay, you got Jeff Fahey, like, oh, he has a weird voice and he's kind of yelling. Oh, okay, and the beginning was okay.
It's
like, wow, this took a wrong turn. Because there was like this glaze of stupid over it.
Right.
Like, did you notice that it looked like garbage?
Yeah.
What's with the diner sounds? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
When they're at the diner, it's like this excessive noise and like it's like
it's like
that was driving me nuts.
Yeah, it's like that kind of like when you go to a crowded place like a diner or something like that when it's like really crowded
Yeah.
and the host is just like it's going to be a 45-minute wait and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not staying here, right?
But
But the
they
thing is,
stay.
with the movie, you're stuck with it, right? You
Yeah,
got,
that's what it felt like. And it's
yeah,
like, why am I listening to this excessive crowd noise?
yeah,
Usually I don't really notice it, but it was really noticeable.
yeah.
And then it's like, oh dear. Well, that's part of my other. That was that was note number 14. But okay, so but the first in the beginning, I have Jeff Fahey with his energetic and odd accent. But then it said music by Marcus Trump. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Trumpp.
right, right,
It's like, oh, this is funny. Okay, that's perfect. My Trump impression. It's,
yeah.
it's like, I have a brother named Marcus Trump. He has 2 P's though.
Yes, right.
It's like, where's Matt? That's what I was writing. That's what I thought when I saw that name pop up. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
where is he? And then the guy who got his hand chopped off, he went, whoa, ow. I
yes.
thought that was kind of funny. That was funny. I mean, I'm saying I'm bashing the movie, but that the bit that there was that dumb foreign guy who drove me nuts too. I don't eat Croatians. I mean crustaceans. It's like
Oh
shut up,
yes, yeah. They
shut up.
thought that stuff was funny. They had these lines in the movie they thought were funny, and it's
And,
like, yeah,
uh, the dialogue is all very odd. It just had this weird sheen of this weird garbagey look and
hmm.
dialogue and the way it was filmed. And you probably noticed that too, right? It's like it
Oh
just
yeah. No,
was low
it's
rent.
yeah, and it's like you've got Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite, who's actually turning in a pretty solid performance despite the material. And like
Yeah,
you said, Jeff Fahey's also turning in a fun performance despite the material.
material. Yeah,
But the material was just always going to win, I think.
yeah.
It just was always going to win. It was always going to beat this. I think there are some ideas with this movie. I mean, again, the idea of kidnapping kids to like harvest their organs is dark, right? That's just
And
really
they should
dark.
before. I mean, yeah, it's like, well, remember John Claude Van Damme? They harvest his organs. It's like,
Right?
and
Yes, that was
like,
great. Yeah,
don't play, you harvest my liver. It's like,
right, exactly. That was perfect, right? You get
yeah,
like the naked Van Damme butt cheeks,
of
even in
course,
like his 50s at this point, right?
yeah,
He's fighting Darren Shahlavi,
yeah.
you
He's
know,
doing the splits, but he has no
doing this
kidney.
right, right, doing the splits with no kidney, right? Didn't he beat someone to death with a Bible?
I think he
Um,
did, yeah, Bible fighting, yeah.
yes,
It's like
Bible foo, right?
Bible foo. It's like this Bible foo. I think he also like did he beat someone up with like a rake or something. I don't really know, but it's like I
He
need
did,
to maybe
yes, yeah.
on the flesh.
It,
I
it,
really
it's
need to go back to Van Damme. Doctor Saman. Did I tell you watch that by the way?
You've seen it. Yeah, I've got to
Yeah.
catch it. So maybe I'll rent it at some point because you're right. Like, yeah, that could be a fun because there's a couple. There's some Van Dams we could do. I think I mean, Pound of Flesh is like about like 8 minutes longer than this movie, but this movie feels like it's like 30 minutes longer than
Oh,
Pound of
it felt like it was
Flesh.
3 hours long. And usually when I watch these two movies back to back, when I make sure I have the time to do it,
Yeah,
usually the second movie goes by faster.
right.
No,
Yeah,
it's actually the
same.
opposite. It went by slower. It's like, oh,
Yes. No, that's just I agree with you there. It was
yeah.
like the first movie, that's one of the interesting things about Blowback that you could say for it is that it it moves like an 85-minute movie. It kind of moves in there. Whereas
Right.
like this movie at 135 or 137 or whatever they're saying it is, it takes like every bit of it. It's just like the
Yeah. It
dialogue
really
goes
is.
on too long in
Yes.
spots. Things are not paced well. I mean, there's a scene where Fahey kills a guy who gives him a hard time in his gang, and the
Oh yeah.
payoff is not. I mean, there's like this whole setup where he's laying out this plastic in front of the guy, and then he tells like the Roxy to stab him or something like that, and he does, but it like takes so long for that payoff to happen. You're just like, why did I need that much payoff? Just kill
Oh,
the guy.
so much setup in this movie. That's
Yeah,
the problem. You have something here. You really do. You have
yeah,
Kellan Lutz killing people.
yes,
He doesn't do that basically at all. He killed more people than Ruthless. But I mean,
right.
like you really squandered this actually surprisingly easy idea. And you have Jeff Fahey, you have Ramirez. Like you actually really had something here.
Yeah,
So not as disappointing as Ruthless, but um, nothing is. Also,
right.
what else? I have fake Drew Barrymore. Um,
Yes, Was that Roxy, the Roxy character?
Roxy, like, I look just like Drew Barrymore. It's like,
Yeah.
are you gonna talk really close to like other people on your show? You're not supposed to.
Right. And some of the outfits she wore were like some of her outfits were a little bit over the top too. They were
Yeah.
interesting. I think there's one where she has a sweater where the whole front is cut out. And so you can see
Yeah.
like so she just has her bra underneath it. I don't know who came up with that idea. That's that was a fascinating idea for an outfit.
Didn't she put like in Batman Forever, real Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
Um, she put like Sugar and Spice. Wasn't that her name, or Spice? Or do you remember this character? It's kind of like this weird kind of background character she plays. Jim Carrey. Do you remember this?
Let me
And
see.
not talking about Batman Forever, but I mean, like, I think she plays someone named Sugar. She has like white. She has like, blondish hair. Kind of looks like Marilyn Monroe in it.
You can hear the sirens now. I've
I
got the I got the police coming for me.
again, I know they're always coming for you because we're making fun of Kellan Lutz too much. We're not
right.
really making fun of these people, by the way. Kellan Lutz, I mean, as he's a himbo, or I called what's the other guys? Oh, Cam, he's a himbo extraordinaire. I forgot to say.
Right.
He's just another classic himbo.
Yeah.
like he's kind of like a nothing on the screen. I hate, it's like he had no personality. I forgot he was in the movie, by the way. It's like,
right.
Oh, it's Kellan Lutz, right? It's like, did you remember the part where they're in the car and there's like really terrible sound radio station, and it said, "This guy's talking about bad hombres, alien problem." It was like garbled radio. Do you remember that?
Right. Yes.
That was funny. It's like this movie's kind of Trumpy. It's just like, and the guy with the music by Marcus Trump. That's amazing.
Right. Well, yeah, you had that.
Yeah, the old lady saying she called the fuzz. It's like,
right.
When I saw that, I was like, I checked out. It's
right.
Like, stupid. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, and they mentioned Linkin Park, which I thought, okay, that's funny. Just like Fake Stag X. Well, to quote Linkin Park songs, I've given up on this movie. So,
right. Well,
because
the movie is shot, right? It's shot completely in Seattle.
Is that where they lived?
That's where the whole that's where everything took place. Because I was thinking Lincoln Park, I thought was in Chicago, but maybe there is one in. I've been to Seattle a long time ago. I went there. My sister used to live there, so in '09 I went out there to visit her, and I went there and I went to Portland, Oregon. So tried out. There's a place called Voodoo Donuts there that has really great donuts. Yeah, they're fantastic. But because I mean, usually, right, like as we know, right, nothing usually shoots in Seattle, right? It shoots in like Vancouver,
Georgia,
right? What was Highlander? It was Seacouver, right? Seacouver, Washington.
Yeah, classic Seacouver.
Right.
The ultimate Vancouver movie is actually Ballistics X versus Sever with Antonio Banderas. And it's like, this was shot in Canada. It's like, can you be more Canadian than this movie? Oh, yeah. So to make more Linkin Park references, I am one step closer to the edge of fast-forwarding this movie.
Right.
Breaking the habit of these Kellan Lutz movies. And I'm numb from these Kellan Lutz movies.
Yes.
What have I done? And also, in the end, this sucked. But
yes. Now I just quickly point out that there is a Lincoln Park. It's near the ocean. It's near the water. So that makes sense, right? That he dumped the body at because the Lincoln Park mention comes up because Kellan Lutz is being questioned by Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite.
Right, Pedro. Yeah.
And Kellan Lutz says to him, "What would you do if this happened to your daughter?" And he goes, "Oh, I'd get like I'd get a baseball bat with nails in it, and I'd beat the guy to death, and I'd dump him in Lincoln Park." And then, of course, the poor man's Don the Dragon Wilson comes in because he's overhearing it. He's like, "Oh no, we can't have him saying that." And he comes in and gets him, and he has that voice, right? He's like, "I'm really sorry about this, Mister." I can't do the voice. I can't do that like kind of high pitch. "I'm really sorry about this, Mr. Lutz," or whatever. So he gets him out of there. But then so one of the things about this movie. So I gave the warning about spoiler alert. So if you're still listening, just know you've been warned here. One of the things that really frustrated about this movie is that the daughter was already killed, and off screen, never we never see it, but her body was used as an organ donor, right? Like that she had
Right.
been was killed and her organs were harvested. And it kind of defeated the whole purpose of the movie for me because I wanted him to rescue his daughter. That was
Yeah.
the whole point of him going on this crime spree. And
Right.
to not have that payoff of him finding his daughter was really dark and just kind of was like a what's the point kind of thing for me. I mean, yes, I get getting revenge for his daughter dying and wanting to do that, but I kind of wanted him to find his daughter. I don't know what you thought about that.
No, I 100% agree. It hurt the movie a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And it made the movie just more annoying and trying for this movie to end. And it's like, you could have just been a Taken knockoff. What is so hard about this?
Yes.
It's like, you couldn't even muster that. And then, yes, you have, not Ryan Phillippe, yeah, I wish. Jeff Fahey, he gets killed. Now
Yeah.
I guess football was done in this garbagey kind of, you know, way. And it's like, okay, this has to end eventually, right? And I saw it. So, but then I thought when you said that when a Kellan Lutz was available, right?
Yeah.
And I thought the movie was kind of dumbed down.
Yes.
Why can't we dumb it up instead? It's like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Let's make it a little bit smarter. Or smart it up, I guess would be better instead of dumb it up. But
Yeah.
everything always so dumbed down with this Kellan Lutz dude. And the ads I saw for this movie have
Yeah.
okay, so the commercials.
Now, before you mentioned it, did you get more commercials for this one than Blowback? Because I did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, seemed like it was like every 15 minutes for this, whereas Blowback, it was like maybe like 3, like every half hour or so.
Yeah, there was more Blowback time than it was Do Justice time for the ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really loaded up on ads on this one. Of course you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Make it longer.
Yes.
I saw this ad for Hims, which I've heard of,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like an R-rated ad. It was we'll call it bedroom problems.
Right.
And it's just like, I thought this is not appropriate. What was I wanting to my like parents?
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
talk about Hims and your shampoos. Don't talk about the other things. It's like, I was embarrassed. I was watching it by myself, but it's like I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I watched it like at 2 p.m. or whatever it was. I never got this ad, but it's like that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
It's like John Cross, after we were done, he was talking about when you watch Van Damme movies, that there's always that scene where Van Damme's having sex with whatever woman in the movie, and that's when your parents walk in, right? That's when your parents would walk in. It was when the sex scene was on. It's I get you, like you kind of still have that feeling even when parents aren't anywhere around. There's still that feeling of like I'm watching something here that my parents could walk in on.
I always think that, like,
Yes.
but it's like this was an amazing. I never saw this ad. I was like, this ad should be banned from
No,
movies.
so the Hims ads that I got, and I don't know if I got them for this, but I get them for other movies. It's this older guy, like he's like 60, and he's just he's like talking about like, oh, I'm 60 now, so I get, these meds to like make me perform better. And then he and his wife were like dancing around or whatever. And so that's
like
the one that I get.
I saw this other one. It was like, buy these pills now. It's like no.
Right. Yes.
Fast forward. I couldn't fast forward for the ad.
Yeah. It's funny. I was looking for a doctor here in Philly, and I found this guy that like takes my insurance and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. So I went to his website because you can book a time a lot of times with, so I'm looking at like what it says, and it said family medicine, like general practitioner. I was like, that's what I want. But as I'm looking further, it's like, it's like guy stuff. It's like, kind of the stuff from Hims, but it's also like Botox injections, and then like, yeah, like, fertility things, and like, yeah, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, this isn't what I want. I need my blood pressure checked. Like, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
You're going down the, they sneak in this like kind of like more adult material in there.
Right, exactly. It's like I don't need Botox. I'm happy with the crow's feet. Just don't let's celebrate.
Yeah, Botox. I never understood that. So Nicole Kidman's face is frozen. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, like, can you just age gracefully, please? But it's botulism, and it gets injected into your
right.
And Ozempic, I hear a lot about. I hear you get sick from that.
Yes, you
And then
can.
it's like, yeah,
You lose your gallbladder.
what
What?
we need
Yeah.
that thing
Right.
supposedly.
It
Yeah,
helps. It helps to have it. Because I think also too, like doctors don't always know what to do with those kinds of drugs. So they're like, oh yeah, sure, take more. And it's like, no, don't take more.
it's like
It's
the new Ritalin. Remember
yeah,
maybe we're like kind of the same age. These kids. These kids back in the '90s, like, well, we gotta take a Ritalin.
right. Yes.
I never took Ritalin. I don't like pills. I hate pills.
Yeah.
I don't like pills. I don't like vaccines because I don't like needles. I don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, especially pills because I don't want to gain weight or anything. Because you always see people on these pills and they gain like 400 pounds, and then you have to be on 600-pound life. Which you don't watch that show, but
No.
that's
Right.
the show that it's like a cautionary tale. You probably
Yeah.
or Mama June, remember her? But it's like
Oh, geez. Yes. Oh, boy.
she's still
Yeah.
around.
I
But
think so. I think she tried to make a comeback. I think she.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love that fame of Honey Boo Boo.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I
Which is what helped David Zaslav pay for HBO
that's
Max and
why we
ruin
have
all of our lives.
yeah. I guess didn't he just take another write off?
I
I mean,
think he might have.
that's all he does. Like every other, he just took a write off on basketball. It just like
Right.
take more write off. He loves write offs.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, like I never seen a guy more in love with tax write offs than this dude.
Right,
Like I
exactly.
guess TNT is a write off for him. I mean, like
Yeah.
but I guess he's gonna actually release a movie, which I was surprised by.
Yes,
Um,
right.
Salem's Lot, the remake of that.
Oh,
You're gonna
okay.
say something? No, you're just kidding, right? It must be April Fool's, but in like August. But it's like, that guy, I get it. He's like just a classic bean counter that became like a studio head. But
Well, because they made with Discovery, they made billions of dollars on these Honey Boo Boo,
yep,
18 kids and counting, 90 Day Fiance, Sister
right.
Wives things. And they thought, well, why would you do prestige TV, right? Like, why would you spend a lot of money on movies? Like, why would you do that when you can make billions of dollars on this? And he tried to I think he tried to turn all of it into that. And it's like,
Like
no, like there's a space for like prestige TV. There's a space for like, you
prestige movie,
know,
or at least movie.
right. Even like, like Batwoman, like just or Black Batgirl, just release it. There's a place for it, but not, but he's learning, right? He's learning now because like he said brazenly, we don't need the NBA. And then when he discovered that he did need the NBA, it was too late. And the NBA is like, oh, you don't need us, so you're out. So
What did I say about Zaz? Oh wait, Batgirl. I mean, I think Michael Keaton mentioned something because he's doing the promos rounds for Beetlejuice 2, which I
oh
look.
yes,
I
yeah.
not. It's like I guess I don't. Maybe I just don't. Maybe because I don't like Beetlejuice. I think he's annoying, stupid, and I try too hard. And like I'm not falling for that. Yeah, but yet soon it'll be Honey Boo Boo Origins or something. That would be like a top prestige movie. You just get
Yes.
like that's what I'm picturing. Of like the biggest movie at HBO Max. Honey Boo Boo is back. Honey Boo Boo Origins.
Yes.
And then you got Mama June that does that one of the superhero jumps, but it breaks more of the because she's fat. She breaks more of the 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 ground than usual. But
Right, right.
like that's what Melissa McCarthy would do a few years ago, right? Like she just like falls down because she's fat. It's like oh,
Right.
that was popular for a couple of years. Melissa
Oh
McCarthy
yeah.
just falls down and then people just laugh at her.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's not a little embarrassing. But speaking of embarrassing, this movie, but also the spotlight on a fight. Well, do justice. Do not recommend. So
No, it's one of these ones that I think I think sometimes when you see these movies like like Do Justice, you see it
right.
there. You got the cover looks a little goofy,
But,
right? He's got the
yeah,
hood and he's got the look on his face and everything. But you think, how bad can it be, right?
exactly.
Killing an hour and a half. It's an action movie, right? Like
Right.
for example, recently I watched Terminal Force, a Fred Olen Ray movie with Richard Harrison from '89, and that's the kind of movie where you go, how bad can it be? And you watch it, and it's a lot of fun, right? You just
And it's not a
it,
ninja.
it right. He's not a ninja, which but he's still it still kind of works on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where you kind of think, okay, it's probably not going to be as good as something like that from the late '80s, but it can't be that bad. I mean, Blowback, I guess, kind of fits that category of like how bad can it be, and it's kind of okay. It's not so bad, right? I mean, it's not great, but do justice. It's like, no, it can be that bad, unfortunately.
So, and that's just unfortunate. So hopefully these next two movies we'll talk about at the end of the pod. What are we doing next?
Yes.
Do you want, we can mention them now or after Spotlight on a Fight?
Well, yeah, we'll do our spotlight on a fight first, and then yeah, we'll finish up on our last two movies. We'll kind of give people a tease for what's coming next month. But yeah, our spotlight on a fight was Under Siege 2, the end fight in Under Siege 2, which there's a lot going on there, right? You've got Katherine Heigl, a young Katherine Heigl, being held prisoner by the baddie.
Right, Everett McGill.
Yeah.
That's the actor's name. What was his name in the movie? It was like Krill or something. I forget. But
yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Marcus Penn. Penn was his name.
Thank you, Penn. Thank you.
Yeah.
He was a good actor in the movie. Like he kind of carried the actual movie.
Right. Yeah. Because what's I haven't seen this one in a while, but Eric Bogosian, right? He was also.
He's amazing. He's like the computer nerd guy. He's like, anyway, he meets a brutal end. My goodness.
Right, exactly.
Wow, you got away with that.
Right, because they're kind of doing like Commando, right? Where Dan Hedaya is kind of the main baddie, but then you've got Vernon Wells as
real bad. Yeah.
Right. So, exactly. Yeah.
So Marcus Penn's the real bad guy. He's the real evil guy.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so he's holding Katherine Heigl hostage. She's got like she's like her she's like hung by something like something's around her neck, and he gives her
or something, right?
Right, and then he gives her a grenade, right, and so she's got to hold the grenade if she, it really doesn't play any part. Like that's the thing with Steven Seagal is that nothing really has any stakes in his movies, and we start to see that here as soon as early as this one, which is like from '95. That like even with his daughter being held hostage, there's no sense that like it's going to impede his ability to defeat the baddie in any kind of way, right? It's just like.
Yeah. Exactly. He has no emotion for old Katherine Heigl or Sarah Ryback.
No.
I want to say like ham on rye or something like that,
Yes, right, exactly. Well, the other thing too is that Katherine Heigl. I don't know if it's going to put her birth date on IMDb because a lot of times with these actresses it doesn't. I think she's like so she's born in '78. She's like my age. So for Seagal, that's like 26, 27 years younger than him.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, so it like 5 years from this movie, right, he would be dating her character. And so it's like, she's like, I guess she would have been like 16 or 17 when this was made. So it's like, okay, that's too young for him to be dating her in this movie. But like, it wasn't long after. I mean, like you look at like, for example, Flight of Fury, which I just covered with Scott from All 90s Action All the Time. Sierra Payton plays his love interest there. I think she was born in like 85, 86. So she's like younger than Katherine Heigl, and she's playing. So it's like, so that's the other thing too, right? Is that Katherine Heigl is playing his daughter, and it's like, okay, that makes sense, right? Age wise, they're about the same. I mean, it's like, he's like about my dad's age. So my dad's, so it's kind of works out exactly there, but. Now, like within like 5 years, these are women that are dating Seagal in these movies. Which of course, Katherine Heigl, I don't think would ever stand for that. She wasn't going to play a part like that in a movie. But
I would laugh to see that now. Like Seagal would be just a complete dregs for old Heigl. I'm gonna give Heigl. I know everyone hated Heigl for a while. I'm giving her a pass. Because I watched My Father's a Hero earlier this year. It really wasn't. She was very annoying in it. But also I watched One for the Money, also Kevin.
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that. Actually, it's somewhat watchable, because you basically care. It's like I cared about Katherine Heigl.
Yes.
I'm giving her a pass. This one, I mean, she didn't really do much, right? She's just like annoying to Steven Seagal,
right?
And, like I don't like teddy bears. I have a weird connection not connection, but I have like this weird soft spot for this stupid movie. But it's like, but the fight though. So it starts with what? So Marcus Penn has like his flick knife.
Yeah.
Right. And then Steven's like, oh, it's a flick knife, which also takes forever to get going. This fight. It's like, okay. It's very
yeah, because there's all this suspense about like her having the grenade, like is
Yep.
something going to happen to her, which of course none of that ends up happening. Then
Right.
also, yeah, like Marcus Penn has his line, or Everett McGill, all of his different lines, which again, like you said, Seagal is just kind of there. He doesn't do anything, right? He's just sitting there like, oh, okay, like he doesn't
even say okay. He does nothing. He
yeah.
just stares at him. Then he hits him with the knife, and then Marcus is like, "You ruined my coat."
Right.
Like,
Yes, right. Yeah, when he stabs them. Yeah. And so they're on the train, they're
yeah.
in the dining car of the train, which I have not ridden a train that has a dining car. Like, usually I take the Northeast Corridor train between Philly and Boston or Philly and New York, and that has the cafe car. The cafe car does not look anything like this like fancy dining car.
Yeah.
It's like
Right?
right. This looks like something out of an Old West movie or something. Yeah. But
The,
it's like all these like tablecloths with glasses and silverware and all that stuff, and I mean you from a Seagal movie that these are good things to throw a bad guy into, right?
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of
So,
the idea.
yeah. That's all he does. He says nothing. Seagal says nothing. Does nothing.
Yeah,
And then he just beats up Everett McGill for like 25 minutes. It's only 3 minutes, but it felt like forever.
right. Yes, exactly. Well, because the fight goes from the dining room area to the kitchen area
Yeah.
right, because that is one of the things they say, right, about what did he say, something along the lines of his end line is something like nobody beats me in the
Nobody
kitchen.
beats me in the kitchen.
Right, because
Yes,
he's a
that's true.
cook, right?
Insert that joke here, but it's like, but you walk right into that and it's walking. Let's get to this bit. Well, they're fighting, they're beating each other up, but there's like, you have that music. It's kind of mildly exciting,
Yeah,
but there's nothing else. It's just like music.
yeah,
Like some. So what is with that bit where Seagal is walking like Frankenstein's monster?
yeah.
What? What?
Yeah, because like Penn he's in the kitchen. He does some things like
Yeah.
he gets like a big butcher's knife,
Yep.
and he's like walking around with that, and he's like getting it, whacking it, like doing all kinds of stuff. And Seagal, like you said, it's like he's like, that's probably the best description is Frankenstein's monster. It's like where is he trying to go? Like what is he doing?
What's he doing? And then like he gets no hits. Marcus
Yeah,
Penn. He gets one hit.
yeah.
He gets one kick. Actually, that was awesome. Marcus Penn's like awesome because it's like I was like rooting for Marcus Penn. Steven Seagal.
Right.
He did that really cool kind of backwards flip.
Yes, that's right.
Like, this guy is cool.
Yeah.
It's like go Marcus Penn.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, because I think
go ahead, please.
well, no, because I think the thing about this one here, this is 1995.
Yeah,
it's almost like we say is it a correct metaphor to say the bloom was coming off the rose a bit with Seagal?
this is a great example. I
Yeah.
mean, like, because I feel like he was lazy in this movie, by the way, and this is a great example. This may be one of his laziest. Well, before he got really lazy, but
Exactly.
this is a great example. This is it. Like this is where it fell.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
No.
He's walking like Frankenstein's monster. He looks terrible.
Yes, right.
The fight, I mean, it's kind of okay. I mean, like then I guess Steven Seagal then snaps Marcus Penn's neck, which is a good neck snap.
Yes, yeah, that's true. But you're right. Penn, the baddie, Miguel, he's carrying this fight scene.
Oh my goodness, is he?
It's Seagal's just sort of occasionally doing his slap chops. He's throwing them around a little bit.
Yep.
But the guy, it's almost like the start of what we're going to be expecting here. That whoever is on screen with Seagal is expected to do the heavy lifting for him.
Yes, that's a great example.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know Michael Caine totally carried On Deadly Ground, but it's like,
exactly.
why can't Michael Caine fight Steven Seagal?
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
I know.
I mean, we got that movie. On Deadly Ground is a nuts movie. We should be lucky to even have that movie. It's so crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that's what I always say that when we do the messages. It's like we're lucky to have it.
Right. Yes.
On
Exactly.
Deadly Ground is maybe a top 10. We're lucky to have it because it's so insane.
Right. Well, because the Michael Caine factor, it is like very, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you after Under Siege 2, right? You get, well, obviously executive decision. I don't know how much you count that one as a Seagal movie.
Not really, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Glimmer Man, Fire Down Below, and then he's, I don't know if we count My Giant, right? It's direct to video with the Patriot.
I've seen My Giant. Just
Yeah.
He just talks to Billy Crystal on a phone.
Yeah.
Doesn't do really anything.
Right, exactly. So it's like he has that one last gasp of exit wounds in 01, but really, you know, he's 95, Under Siege, like you said, on Deadly Ground, I think we forgive it because of the Michael Caine piece. Like we almost don't even think about the fact that Seagal is kind of already on the downswing, right? That it,
Yeah, because what's the funniest part besides the bit with global warming, the bit where that long speech, which is already amazing. But
yes,
he goes. Remember, if you've seen it recently, he goes through that spiritual journey with all these weird, like naked Indian women and bears, right?
yes,
Because through
right.
all that stuff, then he talks to Joan Chan. He's like, "Yeah, I don't care. It's like this mumbo jumbo is not going to save us." It's like you just went through the mumbo jumbo. It's like, it's like,
Right.
it's like. I mean, I love that. I mean, that was. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yes. Yeah.
Plus, I just cracked up at that, and of course the well, we should talk. Well, you should go on YouTube. You look up the channel called GNC Films. I
Hmm.
remember it's this UK kind of thing, and it's amazing how much the UK completely butchered Under the Ground and uh, Under Siege 2. Like all the flick knives are discolored or gone. All the kills are basically gone. Under Siege, and some brutal kills in Under Siege 2.
Yeah.
The,
Oh
the,
yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the killing of Eric Bogosian is just like, I'm surprised they got away with that. It's like he sliced off his fingers with the helicopter door. It's like
Right.
I felt like,
Yeah.
oh, I felt sick. It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
that's how
man.
hard. Because he's like Jason Voorhees in On Deadly Ground and Under Siege 2. Well,
Yes.
especially Under Siege 2, he's doing that weird walk like Jason Voorhees. Whoa.
Right. Right.
And on
Exactly.
Deadly Ground, he's killing people like Jason Voorhees. If you remember, on Deadly Ground, I was on Deadly Ground podcast. But do you remember some of these? Like he just pushes his knife to this guy's eye. Like that's what Jason Voorhees does.
Right.
Like,
Right. It's amazing. Like, I think it's one of those things that like when you go back and watch these movies, like when they came out, right? When the movies came out in the mid '90s, I don't think there wasn't enough of a sense of like how things had changed, especially with like Pulp Fiction and Clerks
that,
and movies
that,
like that.
yeah,
But Seagal, it's fascinating with Seagal because you almost like kind of see the trajectory going down for both him and Van Damme at the same time,
mhm,
and both of them were kind of pains on set. They were kind of difficult, and it's almost like Van
yeah.
Damme turned it around later. It was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
I'm not going to be so difficult. But Seagal just got worse at all this stuff.
yeah. He just got lazier and
Yeah,
doesn't even care. I mean, honestly, Stu, it's like he's in the movie at least. It's like, but
yeah.
yeah. So this fight's weird. I mean, people should check it out. It's like, it's just weird looking.
It's what's fascinating about it. There's a few
Fascinating.
things that are
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, one, it's not that much different than the end fights that you see in his direct to video stuff, 10 years, 15 years after this movie, which is already kind of weird that like
Yeah,
he's already into this mode of like that this is what the movie has to be, right? It's there's no more of the like even like like you said like a hint or like even like a pretend that the baddie could potentially cause an issue.
God,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
none of that there, and it is kind of funny that the only thing that's different, right? The only thing that's different, like you said about him, like nobody beats him in the kitchen, is that he's lighter. Right, that's the only difference
that's it.
between this and the later stuff that he does. But otherwise, like the paradigm or the blueprint is there for how he's going to want his movies to
Yeah,
be.
it's kind of fun to watch actually because it's like, wow, here it is. Like,
Right.
because the thing about I have this weird, I keep saying connection, but I have a soft spot for this
Yeah.
movie. I was kind of making fun of Under Siege too.
Yeah.
And but um, a long time ago, I was at this pool party when I was a kid. So this is when Under Siege 2 came to pay per view. So it's like '96. So
Hmm.
I'd be about 10 years old. So this guy, like the dad of the pool party, he put out Under Siege 2 on pay per view, and you can get it for 24 hours, right?
Hmm.
So So every time I like went back in the pool or went out of the pool to like use the bathroom or something or get a snacky, it always seemed like it was the same scene of Seagal just going down the train steps. Like everything was like the same scene again, same scene again, same scene again. It's like, but I was only there for a few hours. It's like I just, but I always remember. I think about that almost every day because
Yeah.
it's like that was just so weird because I got seared into my brain. Um, but Under Siege 2, I mean, like people should watch it because it's so weird and ridiculous. You got the Jonathan Banks, you know, you got Peter, you got all these people that we all love and enjoy in this dumb movie because that's all they had. You know, it's like being this stupid Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely on YouTube. I mean, I've been, maybe we can go back to Seagal fights because this was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I mean, considering some of the other ones we've looked at, I mean, Van Damme fighting a penguin in
Yeah, that was good.
Sudden Death is just so great. I mean, obviously, the Wrong Side of Town. I mean,
Yeah.
that, with Bautista, which, it's funny. I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 recently, and it's such a fascinating thing to be like watching this, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it's like after like, um, Iron Man and Captain America. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is like the biggest of the the non-Avengers movies. I guess the Spider-Man ones do really well too, but like the Guardians of the Galaxy ones, it's like crazy that they do as well as they do, but two, Dave Bautista, Mr. Wrong Side of Town, is like playing a big part in these three movies that I mean they're averaging like 750 to 800 million per picture that they're earning.
Amazing. But he made his movie great debut in this in Wysot.
Right.
I think we mentioned Wysot on every single podcast since we talked about Wysot, which is fine. I love talking about Wysot. I watched it again the other day.
Yeah.
And it's like he did try to block that kick from Maurice Crump. I rewatched it again. It's like, but he punched him instead, or whatever it was. Like he's gonna block it from Crump, and then he did a kick. It's like why? It's like I can almost just quote the whole fight.
Yes. But
he had a flick knife, if I'm not mistaken, out of nowhere.
they did, yes. It was, and I mean, it's kind of a funny thing when you think about that Wrong Side of Town fight because it's a very short fight, right?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
And there's a very short interaction between Bautista and Rob Van Dam. But you can almost see just in that short interaction why a Dave Bautista would be able to play, Drax, in these Guardians of the Galaxy movies and pull it off.
Goofball, dum dum.
Yeah,
but it does it well.
Right. There's like this hint of personality that he has just in that one scene that carries over that you're like, that's why he does this. And Rob Van Dam is in a Fred Olen Ray Seagal movie where they put Van Dam on the cover to make
sniper special ops.
Exactly, yeah.
That's right, because when I watched the clip for Weiss all the time, it's like, where were you? That's Robert. Where were you? And it's like,
right.
Or like, what took you so long? Strong current. See, that's like
exactly.
So it's like. So I thought Rob Van Dam's acting was terrible,
right?
But I mean, but Batista was the best line he can give at the time.
Yeah.
But it was done well,
yes.
And it was like okay, and then you kind of see Crump walking in. It's like and because I watched so many times, you got Robert's like it's like he's like tired of beating up like this half fat guy as Rob Van Dam is. He's like goofball bikers.
Right.
Like, it's like. When's Rob Van Dam gonna make another movie? When's Bautista gonna make another junkie? It's like a junkie.
Yeah, I think Bautista's done with them, right? He doesn't.
Yeah, he's theatrical now.
I mean, he did an M. Night Shyamalan movie. He was in. I mean, he was in he was in a movie. It wasn't in an Ip Man movie, but he was in Dune Part 2. Well, then I mean that's it, right?
Huge. It's a huge movie. I mean,
yeah,
even these huge movies. Rob Van Dam's gonna do Sniper Special Ops 2, probably. And it's like.
Yeah.
No,
I see. I haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder yet, but he was in that one as well. I mean, Glass Onion, right? So he's doing like ensemble things too. I mean, I guess he's still
a new one coming.
Yeah, and I guess he lends his voice to the WWE wrestling movies. So wrestling video games.
Because I saw Batista's going to be in a movie that looks like a movie you would watch, The Killer's Game. Also has Sky Atkins. And,
oh wow.
It's going to the theater. It's put up by Lionsgate. I think also has Ben Kingsley, star of Blood Rain. Nothing else of note, I will say. And then it's gonna stop there.
Oh, and Bernhard and Marco Zaror are in it as well.
Let's hope this delivers. I'm a little worried about it because I saw a trailer looked a little like it's not going to deliver on what we want, but we'll see.
Right.
I don't know. It's
So
kind of
this,
smoke
so this is going to be in the theater. So it says releasing September 12th, 2024. So do they
another.
think it's going to be the theater then, or it's going to be like,
Let's go to the theater. Like, but unless Lionsgate's kind of destroying all these movies, it's becoming a new Zaslav. They just
yeah.
got 3 movies in a row, basically. It's like, oh.
Well, you never know, right? You never know if they give up on it, but
Because
because
they gave up on it, but I don't know.
yeah, because usually they tell you if it's September 12th that it's supposed to come out. Usually they tell you like what the local theaters are that have it, but
Not
um,
yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it is August that we're recording this podcast. I know it's supposed to
right.
be out.
So yeah, I think this episode's actually going to drop.
Well,
It's
yeah, we can
actually
wrap up the fight then. Yeah, we can wrap up the rest of the pod,
no,
actually.
but I was gonna say, yeah, this episode's gonna drop right before this is released, actually, before this movie that we're talking about
Oh,
is released. Yeah.
so it's
So
game.
if
Okay,
people are
so
listening here, the movie's gonna be coming out Friday, or a lot of people pick up the episodes over the weekend.
oh,
So
really? They do? Okay, cool. Yeah, so it'll be out this weekend.
yeah,
Check it out, maybe or not,
right,
or
exactly.
support support these Lionsgate movies that they're surprisingly dumping in the theaters. I think,
Yeah.
and I went on Lionsgate.com the other day,
Hmm.
and it said careers. It's like, should I work for Lionsgate?
Yeah.
It's like, can I just sing the song and then I have to get the job?
Right.
I've seen 1,000 of your dumb movies. Like,
Yeah. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Maybe that's how you do it. That's how you get the job. You sing the theme. I sent you that picture. If you'll see on your Instagram afterwards.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
It says like strong orchestral theme because I've been watching Damaged, right? So
Right.
like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can wrap up.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things I'll quickly say about this movie that
Please.
you're talking about, it's directed by J.J. Perry, who did stunt work for a lot of really big movies that we like John Wick Chapter 2,
Okay.
Fate of the Furious. So it sounds like he's someone who's from
Mhm.
the that tree of
Oh,
Spiro Rosatos, Chad Stahelski,
yeah,
the Darren Prescott. I mean, he did the Expendables movies, Machete. So, eh,
good.
yeah, he could be. I mean, so hey, if this movie is good, if this movie comes out as good as we want it to be, Blood and Bone, he was a stunt coordinator on Blood and Bone. So,
Oh,
um,
nice. This
yeah,
could be
also Pistol Whip, which is one we enjoyed.
Got a pistol up shot in our classic Connecticut's and our Lance Henriksen
Right,
uh,
exactly. So,
as the
yeah,
old man. It's like, talking to the old man. That's Steven Seagal. Actually, we might do a Lance Henriksen podcast very soon.
oh, nice,
We have a lot of Lance on the site, I noticed. So
nice.
we've been doing Rock, as you maybe saw, but
Yes, no, I did catch those episodes. Yeah.
and
And yeah, I was looking. I mean, Rage and Honor, he uncredited, but it looks like this guy has done. Speaking of Rothrock, he was uncredited stunts on Rage and Honor, but yeah, it looks like tons of stuff from the '90s. So I'm trying to see if you
this
find
could
that
be
connection between him and Spiro Rosatos. That's always the thing, right? You want to
because
see because it
I
seems
would
like
like
everybody comes from Spiro Rosatos's tree, right? Like
that's
that's like
great.
yeah,
If Batista could fight Scott Atkins in a well choreographed, well shot fight, we're gonna have something. We can have
I,
a spotlight on a fight. Let's go back to Batista fighting. He's doing these My Spy movies. He's doing other stuff that's a little bit too kid friendly, a little bit.
yeah,
Let's maybe this is it. I'm hoping.
yeah. No,
The Pro being a dud. If I hear Danny Houston's good in it, because he's like evil or whatever.
right, exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I look forward to watching it on streaming. I'm gonna watch it.
yeah. I think this could be a
Not
good one. Yeah, the one movie that he did for PM was Cyber Tracker, but that
hey,
one didn't have Rosatos on it. So
oh, it did.
uh,
Well, you got your
no, but he did the
Donald.
best of the best movies. He
Oh,
was
nice.
Nash Bridges episodes.
Well, yeah, because Chad Stileski is hanging around. And oh, that's martial law. Chad Stileski is hanging around in martial law as an actor.
Oh,
Uh,
you know what? I think he did martial law as well. He did do
then
martial law.
perfect.
He did
Yeah,
stunt work on 8 episodes of martial law. So
I love
that could be
martial
where
law.
they connected. That might be where
Yeah,
he got to know Chad Stahelski because
yeah.
he's doing the John Wick movies. So and
Great
Ballistic X versus Sever. You just mentioned that one. He was stunts in
classic.
that one. So
Great
yeah,
movie.
this guy could be. So this could be something really fantastic here. So
I really
fingers
hope so. I hope
crossed that
it's
we
a
get ourselves something good here.
I really hope so. I get nervous nowadays because a lot of movies these days haven't been very good.
I know, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about nostalgic for 2010. Like, you got the Expendables coming out in 2010, or even 2012 with Expendables 2. I showed you that, or maybe I can send you the link. Is this on YouTube? The Expendables 2 TV commercial or TV spot? Do you ever see this? It's like, what are you do about Van Damme? Kill him. It's like, it's still like, kill him. It's like,
Kill 'em.
okay. It's
Yeah.
it's just like, it's perfect. It's just like, that's what one of the comments is too. Like, well, that sums it up pretty nicely.
Right, exactly.
So bluntly and easily. What do you do about Van Damme and Verlaine? Kill him.
Right, exactly.
Man, you up. I mean, that's a little odd to say, but okay. But it works. We talked about Steve Austin and Stallone Expendables 1. Maybe you can go to Verlaine or.
Oh, that's right. That was one of our spotlight on fights. Yes, that was a good one. Yeah.
To Verlaine versus Stallone. I mean, that is the most epic thing of all time. I mean, we talked about that already, but I should probably let people go.
Yeah, I'll quickly say one last thing. That director J.J. Perry, he did Day Shift, the Jamie Foxx movie that's on Netflix, and that also has Scott Adkins in it. So that's probably how he got hooked up with Scott Adkins.
Okay, I heard Scott Adkins almost steals the movie in that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to. That 1:53 running time scares me a bit, but at some point I got to just hunker down and watch it.
That's what scared me off for months, years actually.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I'll get to it.
yeah, exactly. Well,
Netflix movies or Hulu movies or whatever. I did watch Immaculate.
How was that?
Movie. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this kind of giallo kind of vibe to it. And it's 80 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Like it ends at 80 minutes. Like boom, done.
That's really. I didn't know that movie was that.
I thought it was gonna be long. Like, oh, it was an hour and 50, hour and 45. No, 80. It's like before the credits roll.
Yeah, no, she got that movie. It's on Hulu now, so you check it out. Right, she got that movie made, didn't she, by doing Madam Web?
Yeah, great. Immaculate's a good movie. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but it's a quality movie. Good movie to have on your resume. She does. I won't give it away, but you probably saw some of the ads, right?
Yes, yeah.
She does this amazing scream in it. I mean, like, it's a good minute.
Yeah.
Of her screaming. Like, I don't know how she did that. Maybe one take, I hope. But it's like, I can't scream for 1 second.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, I can't do it. Or I could do Donna Dragon. Oh. It's like, but
the Donna Dragon.
That's what I could do.
Right.
Well, when I say that, when I said the joke last time, right? Which was, Donna Dragon, like at the dentist.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, open what? Ah.
Right.
So that's how he says it.
Yeah.
I don't. If I said that, I hope I didn't understand. But I think that's funny. I don't know.
Yeah. No, Donna Dragon. You gotta love Donna. Like especially in those Blood Fist movies, and then also I think like the later Corman ones. He just he'll just like walk into a room and get like ambushed and just like make these great faces before he like turns the tables and starts beating the other guys up.
And see, he takes hits. Like that's what made Black Belt so great. It's like but as a hero, as an action hero, if I were an action hero movie, I would take hits.
Yeah.
It's like I hear these action stars don't want to take hits. Yeah. It's like I haven't taken Liam Neeson lately. But I think we talked about it the last episode. We should probably let people go.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, did you want to give any plugs?
Yeah, sure. We got Comeuppance Reviews .net. Oh yeah, it's on .net. I should know. It's the website where you can look at all the wacky reviews. Like, what did we post recently? Oh dear, terrible plug today.
So you had Acceleration as of our writing. This was one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, Acceleration, which we just posted that. So Dolph Lundgren and Natalie Burn.
Right. Yeah.
It was okay. I thought it was all right. But you got Chuck Liddell. You mentioned him before.
Yeah, Sean Patrick Flannery. You got to have.
He was kind of fun.
Yeah.
A little light in the trio. Well, nice to see Natalie Burn. Because if you watch Assassin's Run, that's a movie with Christian Slater.
Yes.
If you're saying the picture, he's wearing a hard hat. It's just like black gold. It's like he's always on the phone. Like, I'm on the phone with the Russians.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm still on the phone. I love you. What's her name in the movie? Not great. My memory today of people is not great. But whoever. Oh, Sophia Skaya.
Oh yes.
Sophia Skaya. Oh, I'm dead. I died. It's like Spoiler for a movie that's 12 plus years old, but
right.
and Cole Hauser is Cole Hauser. It starts if you ever see you've seen Assassin's Run, right? It's just like
Oh yes, yeah.
it's like it obviously ends up trying to be a sequel where Sophia Sky's gonna take out Cole Hauser, but they should have just taken out Cole Hauser. You're not making a sequel to Assassin's Run.
Right. Yes.
Just take him out, just punch him or something. You could just do that. She didn't really kill anybody, really.
No.
She just beat him up with their pirouettes. Oh, wait, Comeuppance Reviews, the podcast, where we just posted something. Oh, 50 Rock Part 2.
Yeah.
3. Coming soon, Lance Henriksen. Anything else? Oh, Ty Comeuppance on the Twitter X. And, Ty Action Rocks on the Instagram, which, when I post, Third World Cop. You know, I've never ever seen that movie.
Yeah, I have not seen the movie. I've heard of it, and then I saw your VHS, and that I definitely have seen that VHS around.
Well, what's funny about that is, let me find the real tagline. I didn't want to seem like it says "We run tings, tings none run we." Now, I was gonna put that. I thought, well, wait a sec. I don't want to get in trouble. I took it canceled. Even though it's just the
it's a tagline.
It's a tagline. I don't want to get canceled. So it's like, because like, oh, you making fun of these for a rule cops? Like, no.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. And I guess I should have mentioned it earlier in the pod, but I did when I went to Terrificon. I did meet Martin Cove and Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox and Daphne Zuniga and Michael Rooker. And they're all really great people.
Yeah, and you were saying that when you met Martin Cove, you showed him your Shoot Fighter DVD to sign, and he loved it.
He was like, and then oh, I love seeing this again. Yeah, it has Johnny. He's happy to Johnny Lawrence instead of William Zabka. I mean, actually, he said Billy. He said, hey, Billy's in this. Billy Zabka. And I worked with Bolo Young, and then I made it. And then we mentioned a couple other movies like Final Payback. There's Richard Grieco. Like, what's this junkiest thing I could tell him?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, Final Payback, Richard Grieco. Like, yeah. And I made some other one. Oh, it was some other dumb movie he made. It's like, you guys are good. You know your awesome stuff. Yeah, I made a lot of crud movies, but I got paid a lot. He was great about it. And he signed it, and it was I should have got a picture of him. I really should have.
Yeah.
But I did get a picture of Eric Estrada, and Eric Estrada was awesome. He was like the most awesome guy there. And Rooker was funny. It was like I told you the story on Instagram, right?
Not what about Rooker? No, I didn't know the Rooker one.
It about where we talked to him about chasing ghosts.
And
then it's like, yeah, Jason Ghosts, yeah, Michael Madsen and Gary Busey were fighting on set, and I was just sitting there tied up.
Oh, that was Rooker. For some reason I thought that was Joe Pantoliano. Did you meet him too?
He was a Taxman. He was a little. He's talking about Tony Curtis.
Right.
Rooker was, he's in that movie Chasing Ghosts. Like, I'm just waiting to act, and then he tied up as my character. So he did the tied up motion, which I thought was really funny.
Right.
And he's like, I know you're. Yeah, I guess Gary Busey was driving Michael Madsen crazy. I'm sad chasing ghosts. Like, he had a good memory for that for almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. I would think if Michael Madsen and Gary Busey are giving each other a hard time on a set, like you never forget that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's got to be something that sticks with you, no matter how many movies you do. Unless you're Michael Madsen. Like Michael Madsen probably doesn't remember it, but he's done so many movies. He probably is like, well, what do you mean? Gary Busey? I made a movie with Gary Busey? I mean, I guess I probably made one with everybody. Yeah, probably. Probably got in a fight with everybody on it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the only movie I remember is Ukum. Yeah, it was Major Blevins. And I guess he just got arrested recently.
Did he?
For everyone's favorite "It Ends With Us" thing, domestic violence.
Oh, geez, Michael Madsen. Oh.
Like Ukum, no, how could you do this, Mr. Ukum? It's like, I guess he might have been drunk or something, but he has has issues.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mr. Madsen.
But so in Joe Pantoliano, I signed a tax man. It was a little expensive.
Yes. Is it? Oh yeah.
$50 freaking to sign a tax man on tape.
Jeez.
We've had a picture, and it's just like, so yeah. He's like, yeah, tax man. Yeah, some guy died after he made it 20 years later. Yeah. Then I mentioned, let me think of some other. I mentioned the Immortals. If I mentioned something about You're like, yeah, the Immortals. Yeah. And then he got really pumped up about the Immortals for a second. I worked with Tony Curtis. It's like, yes, you did. It's like, Tony Curtis. Yeah, he was great. And then he had some long 20-minute story. Like, I get paid, I give him $50. They give me like a 10-minute story about Tony Curtis. Just like, it wasn't even about the movie. It wasn't even
Wow.
about the Immortals. It's like,
Wow.
what?
So they all charge? Do they all charge?
Well, it depends on the person, but pants,
Yeah.
Joey Pants is expensive, $50.
Yeah.
You know,
Must be
Eric
because of,
Estrada was cheap. You know?
yeah. Is it because of
40
the fact that he was on The Sopranos and did the Matrix movies?
Maybe that's why. I mean,
Yeah.
and he was like sleepy there too. It's like, I mean, he should have signed my tape for $20 in the way he was acting. And then like Marco, I can understand. Oh, also, Charlie Cox was in a special room. Can I tell you that?
No.
He's in a special secret room inside the convention. And the lion was out the door almost. I
Right.
saw him. He was right there. It's like,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying to Brad. Like, they're right there. He's Rooker right there. It's like he's right freaking in front of me. Same with Cove, and Cove was awesome. He's like, look, Jesse, I made this movie. Shoot fire, Jesse Cove.
Yeah.
He was really cool. I think I showed the picture. Right, he's holding the tape.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yes. Yeah. No, that was.
But Eric Estrada was really the best person because then I should probably let people go.
Yeah.
Well, because I showed him Lost Idol. It's like, well, maybe you'll give me a deal if I brought Lost Idol and Alien Seed. So and he not only did I got a picture with him, and it was only $40 to get the both signed. He didn't even care because he thought it was hilarious to see Lost Idol. He was cracking up.
Mm-hmm.
He was like frozen. It's like, I haven't seen these in like 40 years. It's like, oh, like Lost Idol, yeah. And then we talked about a bunch of his movies. Night of the Wilding. He's talking about a little bit about Joseph Murhai.
Oh, did he talk about what Night of the Wilding?
Yeah, I asked him about Night of the Wilding. He's like, yeah, that was kind of fun to make. And Joseph Murhai. He's like, yeah, Joseph Murhai.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mentioned Light Blast. Like, yeah.
Oh, what did he say about the Light Blast?
He said that Light Blast is awesome to shoot. He said everything was awesome to shoot. He just loves life, basically. But he was so happy to see the fish. All he sees is chip stuff all day.
Yeah.
So no one expected any of that. Cove, Estrada, or Pantaleon. But Michael Rooker showed him Rogue Force. I thought he might be impressed, but Rogue Force, yeah, shot a lot of real guns, yeah. There's something wrong. Here we go. It's like, don't do the impression. Don't do the impression.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
You know what's funny? No one ever really mentioned Henry. So killer.
Oh, like, right, because that's right.
That. Like, no one's ever like. I thought of that after. Like, wait, Henry.
Yeah. Well, because it's probably like the first thing is probably Guardians of the Galaxy, and then maybe Fast and Furious or Mallrats, right? I guess would be.
Fast and Furious? The Rookster?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, right. Remember, because in Fast 9, he plays his dad's pitman.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so he was, and then he's also in Fast 10 or Fast X or whatever. Wow. I think he has a small part in that as well. But yeah, he's like, yeah, he was like the pitman for it. So he's, I mean, it's like, yeah, he's kind of making his way into every blockbuster, right? He's like,
well, I could have mentioned a bit more, but you know, I thought, well, what's the weirdest one to mention to him? But yeah, I guess you remember Chasing Ghosts.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, like. Yeah, like Eric Estrada, we could have talked. He talked for like 10+ minutes. Like we could talk to him all day. He was so nice.
Yeah.
And the lion was small. We could have talked to him all day. You know, it's like he didn't care. And Larry Wilcox is funny because which was I didn't get him anything because I don't want to run out of my money. But
yeah,
I asked him about Mission Manila.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you played web. Like, I played web. It's like, yes, you did. It's like, yeah, I was in the Philippines. And I got many massages every day. Like,
oh man.
That was great. And Daphne Zuniga was nice too. I mentioned Last Rites, the movie with Tom Berenger. He's like, yeah, right, Last Rites, yes.
Yeah, Daphne Zuniga, my wife and I, one of the first times we were together, she was in a Christmas movie called Strike for the Holidays, like some movie where like her and all the moms go on strike around Christmas time, and they were used to make cookies and stuff like that, it's kind of a trip of a movie. But Daphne Zuniga, she was the mom, and she's got her husband who was like a professor, and then her two sons, and they're like like rowdy, like causing trouble and stuff like that.
Not like a silly movie. I mean, like
Yeah.
Zuniga. I mean, like she was nice. I mean, she was happy. Her line was pretty small too. I mean, like
Yeah.
I mean, what's the it's funny. Cove was a bit of a line.
Yeah. Yeah, from Cobra Kai, probably.
And then Tom Welling was there. I saw him. I saw like a glimpse of Tom Welling. He was on break a lot.
Mm.
And Colby Smulders, I saw her for like 2 seconds.
Oh, nice. Another Marvel one, probably, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess also How I Met Your Father, right? Or How I Met Your Mother.
One of the biggest names there. I mean, like she's like, who else is there? So the principal from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, right, yes.
In the first season, he was. I couldn't find him. He was like one missing. And here's the thing. Here's the kicker, of course. And C. Thomas Howell was there, but he wasn't.
You missed him.
He was going to be there Sunday, but then he couldn't go. He couldn't come Sunday. So he was there Friday and Saturday. So trust me, I had the sweeper ready to go.
Oh man!
And I was like, no way! But I still had a fantastic time. It's like,
that does sound amazing. I mean, yes, obviously, if you could have gotten the sweeper sign, that would have been the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. But otherwise, it sounded fantastic. That sounds like such a great time.
And I guess there was a secret appearance by Keanu Reeves.
Oh, no way!
That Friday, I heard that on Saturday morning, of course.
Yeah.
I guess he was like there, like you were. Whoa, I'm at the Mohegan Sun. Right. It's like I mean, I guess you had to get special wristbands.
Oh, yeah.
Keanu, I didn't know he was there. Trust me, I would have gone Friday.
Yeah.
I would have gone Friday and Sunday. Keanu Reeves get my freaking Street King signed, maybe.
Right, exactly.
That's the best movie you've ever seen. That.
I wonder if because Mohegan Sun is so close to New York City, that like there are a lot of ones like Keanu where it's like maybe not, and so they kind of they let it go, because you never know if they're in the area, if they might just do it. Or I mean, I imagine ones like people like Ice-T who live in New York City, I think he lives in New Jersey, just across the river. But there's probably a whole group of ones in that area that you can just get, time to time.
Surprised, I guess people it was like a really talk about last minute. I mean, my Street Kings Blu-ray is right next to me right now. That's what I want. That's his best. Not the Matrix, not Bill and Ted, Street Kings.
No.
But I should let people go.
We'll wrap it up here then. So just to give people a sense, in next month.
The next 2 months. Then we'll let people go. Sorry.
Yeah. So next month, we've got in mind. We're gonna do one is this movie Cash Out that is supposed to be on Hulu sometime in September. It's got Travolta, Randall Emmett directed it. And then the other one is the Orlando Bloom one.
Right, Red Right Hand.
Red Right Hand
movie, but I don't know much about it. We're taking a chance.
Right, exactly. So
I hope that delivers some revenge. Give me like 2 kills. I'll be really nice with it.
Yeah, exactly. So fingers crossed. These are a couple Hulu ones. We're hoping that maybe we've upped the level a little bit. Andy McDowell is also in Red Right Hand. So fingers crossed. And then, of course, the Cash Out. I know that the guys on DTV Digest talked about Cash Out on one of their episodes. I think it was released there before it was here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And they said they like Travolta?
They said Travolta wasn't horrible. I think it's kind of maybe the best way.
Okay, I'll take it. I mean,
if I remember right.
You know what we're getting into on this.
Yeah, exactly. So
Ives Emmett directed movie.
Yes, right. Well, it's actually Randall Emmett. It's not even Ives or whatever, Eves or whatever. Yeah, he actually goes by his name here, so I don't know what that means.
I don't get. I think there's some weird thing about that. Like he's always sort of mild trouble. It's like,
right, exactly. So
and then he comes back, and it's like, so I'm not going to bash on him. I follow him on Instagram. But maybe he can do my movie ideas. It's like
right.
He gives me like 4-day shooting schedule, but I mean, like, it's not it. But it's like here's 4 days.
Yes, exactly.
Catering.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see if these two give us something a little bit better than this one.
Yeah, I think just having and then you have your Orlando Bloom, that should be a little bit better. That should hang on and keep us going.
Yeah, exactly. So
The
fingers
movie.
crossed.
Fingers
Fingers
crossed.
crossed.
But
Yeah.
we'll
So,
let people go. Let people go.
yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Ty, for coming on. And yeah, thank you everybody. We'll be back soon. We'll be
We'll
back
be back
soon. The
very.
director.
We have
Yeah.
to wait for Cash Out to hit Hulu, which is September 6th, or after this is out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. By the time this is out, we'll be getting ready to fire up the next one. So yeah.
What's
Thank you
that thing
everybody.
from Broken Arrow though? It's like, you're crazy. I said, all right, you're crazy. That's criticized. Like, he's like, yeah, isn't it cool? It's like,
Right,
it's like
exactly.
cool. It's like, that's great. That's just perfect 90s.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
people go.
exactly. Well, but yeah. So thank you everybody for listening, and we'll be back soon.
Great.
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.